I'd like to welcome y'all to the first episode of Better Views, where we want to do an interview, but just give a better view of those that we talk to, because you can't have too many perspectives. You could always learn. So,
Hello.
And the first guest today is a big deal, because I told him the whole time that I was going to start this, that I wanted to interview people, I wanted to talk to people. I said, I need you to be first. I told him he needed to be first because he inspired me. Because I watched him continue to grind while taking care of a family, while working a 9 to 5.
Yes.
That was always a big deal to me. So I always really appreciated that about him. The man is becoming a legend in the city, in Des Moines. He's a rapper. He's a content creator. He's got GFG Records, GFG TV.
Yes, sir.
Just got married. It's a beautiful thing.
Damn.
We got the legend in the building, Ray West.
What's going on, man? What's going on? How you feeling? How you feeling?
Man, I'm just happy to be here.
Man, there it is.
I've been waiting for this day for a long time. I ain't gonna lie, man. I've been waiting for this day for a long time. So
shit, we on it, baby. We on that type of time today, man. I just want to commend you, man. Your studio looks beautiful.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? I love to see you working, man.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, and that's why I said I felt the same about you.
Yeah.
So and I had said that. Now, full disclosure, it took me some years to get here.
Yeah.
So, but I'm here, and when we here.
Hey, we got to crawl before we walk, Brody.
Yeah.
Everything.
So, you know, I've been following you for a while. We had met. We actually have a lot of mutual friends.
Yes, sir.
That's how we met. And I actually love those guys. I have a lot of history with those guys. So, you know, shout out to HB. That's my dog.
That's my Brody.
T-Bear,
shout
out to the
King.
guys, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man.
So, Bigg Ray West.
Talk to me.
Did you grow up on the west side of the city?
I definitely grew up on the west side of Des Moines, Iowa.
I was always wondering that.
I'm a Ponderosa baby. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Pondee. That area is the main street is 35th and 35th Street. You know what I'm saying? It goes over there to the Callanan Middle School area. You know what I'm saying? So,
shout out to them.
I was raised in that area.
Is that where the name came from?
Where's that?
Is that Ray West? Is it from the west side of Des Moines, or is this an influence of the West Coast in general?
So the west side is definitely for the west side of Des Moines. I'm obviously heavily influenced by the West Coast, but I just felt like, man, don't nobody rep the west side of Des Moines harder than me, man. So
it does feel that way.
It just made sense to add west to the name, man. Like I put on for the west side. I love the east side too. I love the south side.
Of course. You. And we'll talk about that, but you are a good representative of your city, for sure.
Man, I appreciate that. That's love, man.
So, born and raised?
Born and raised right here, man. I ain't never went nowhere, man.
Okay. So, where'd you go to school at?
So, elementary, I went to Greenwood. That's off of, fuck is Greenwood off? Off of Grand, 37th and Grand or some shit like that. Then I went to Callanan Middle School. And then I went to Roosevelt, man. True West Side shit.
So, how was... So did you have the moniker that back then in school?
No, I did not. In school, I was, don't even get me capping, man. I probably put out my first CD in 8th grade or some shit like that. And at then it was just Bigg Ray. It was Bigg Ray. My first CD ever was called Bigg Ray's Mixtape Bitch. And it was a picture of me on the cover in front of a big ass blue Escalade. We motherfucking took an Escalade for a test drive.
Okay, then.
And then ended up having a photo shoot with that motherfucker.
So, I don't want to date you, but so when would this have been around?
Man, I'm 36. That shit happened in motherfucking...
So you was outside, early, if you was rapping at 8, or was you just kind of drawn to the music?
I was definitely rapping, dog, and I was definitely drawn to the music. Like I said, it had to be 2000 or 99 when I put my first shit out.
In back then, when Bigg Ray was making music, what would be like, if I heard a song, what would the content, like if you had to describe what you were talking about back then, what do you think he was rapping about?
So I've never been a real street guy, you know what I'm saying? I don't classify myself as a street nigga at all, you know what I'm saying? So my content,
I bet you was popular, wasn't you? Because you a cool motherfucker, I ain't gonna lie.
I wasn't the most popular in school. If people knew me in school, it was definitely for the rapping. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying?
Okay,
it wasn't for the shit I was doing in the streets or no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I've always been artistic, man.
So was you talking about your home life? Was you talking about girls? You think what was you think you was kind of rapping about?
Relationships with
Word.
folks. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
You know what I'm
Which
saying?
I can still
Falling
hear
out.
that in your music today.
Yeah, man, like falling
That's
out with
fire.
friends. You know what I'm saying? Having puppy love and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Breaking up with girls, making records about them. You know, it's all. You know what I'm saying? It's just all about relationships with me. You know what I'm saying? I try to keep it authentic, man.
And that's what I say, genuine.
Yeah.
So that's what I gravitate towards.
Yeah, man.
You know, is genuine.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I don't need every rapper to be like you can have artistic, you know, expression and have fun with it.
Yeah.
But I need some sort of believability in what it is that you're talking about.
And I'm a
You
big
know?
believer of that, man. I'm not a fan of motherfuckers getting on a record and popping shit that they don't do or talking about a lifestyle that they never lived.
Yeah,
So,
and you see that a lot more because obviously I'm gonna probably sound like the old dude, but with the internet, yeah, they can just go get paid. Get cracking. I done seen so many artists
Yeah.
that just blow up off of perpetuating a lifestyle
yeah.
and then they disappear.
Yeah.
And who knows what happened behind perpetuating that lifestyle. You know, there could be some violence that comes behind that. There could be
Yeah,
some,
man.
you know, some loss that comes behind that. So, but then they just get the money and disappear. So we see that all too often. So
I learned at a young age, Brody, that the folks I was surrounded by, you know what I'm saying, that they don't respect that. People don't respect if you're talking about a lifestyle that you don't live. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, well, I'm not shocked that you were making music back then.
Yeah.
That was true to who you are.
Yeah,
So
man.
because that's what I respect about you today.
I appreciate that.
So you made it through school.
I graduated, man. I graduated from Roosevelt. It was a tough road. There was a time where I wasn't going to graduate. You know what I'm saying? I got kicked out my sophomore year out of Roosevelt. Got caught with an ounce of weed in my locker and shit. They ended up sending me to a Pace Alternative School downtown.
I went to alternative school too.
Yeah, so I went to Pace and had to sit down there for about a year and a half to get all my credits up because I wasn't even going to class at Roosevelt. You know what I'm saying? I was smoking big weed, you know what I'm saying? Coming to school smelling like liquor and shit. Like, it was all bad for a minute for me, man. It was all bad, but I went to Pace and got my act together, so to speak, you know? I was fortunate enough to have the mindset that I could watch the folks around me, see them get in trouble, and then see what not to do. You know what I'm saying?
I did the opposite because I did have older cats around for sure.
Yeah.
And I definitely went the other way, trying to like impress them and you know,
Yeah.
and just kind of being a little too reckless.
I started off with that, you know what I'm saying? There at a younger age, there was a time where I definitely wanted to be a street dude, and I figured that shit, if I'm gonna do the street shit and do the gang culture, I wanted to be the best at that. But I was fortunate enough also to have a father at home that wasn't going for that shit. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. And so you wanted to be the best. If you was a street dude, you wanted to be the best at it. You say that.
Yeah.
Is Ray West somebody that wants to be the best at everything he does? In the sense of, are you a competitive guy?
I definitely observe what everybody else is doing, and I apply that to my game. I'll let the listeners or the lookers tell me where I rank at. I'm not gonna sit here and say, "Oh, I'm the best at this and that." You know what I'm saying? My content and all that'll speak for themselves. You know, the folks will give me the credit that I need, and that's good enough for me.
For sure. So you made it through school though.
Made it through school, man. Graduated class of 05. Shout out Roosevelt.
For sure. And so what did you jump right into a job? Did you go to any sort of secondary schooling?
Nope, man.
Did you start just doing music?
I definitely kicked into music high gear. I went straight into the workforce, started working, man. Never went to no colleges, took any college courses or none of that. But I probably could have. I should have.
Well, yeah.
Because I feel like I'm
definitely an intelligent cat.
Yeah, I feel like I was smart enough to excel in that if I put my mind to it. But the music had me in a chokehold, man.
No, yeah, and you're doing it.
I appreciate that.
So we'll obviously we'll get into that, but you're pretty active in comparison to the entirety of the music scene in the city. So
And
you know
I try to
you're definitely super active. So you're still doing it. So even back then, you kind of knew you had to work, you know,
Yeah.
to make ends meet, but you never really stopped. Like, did you was there any point
Never.
that you had to give up or not?
Never.
That's the wrong word, but took a break from
Never.
or so you've been consistently making
Consistent.
music for, you know, since you were young, basically.
Since about 2000, 2001, man.
So when you say that, it's like you can see that because you're so ingrained in your identity. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of cats, a lot of artists will be, they might just like, oh, I'm going to make music now or only be a few years into it. And you can
Yeah.
tell they're trying to find out who they are.
Yeah.
And like what works for them. You know what I mean? And
Definitely.
you're somebody who is definitely ingrained in your,
Man, I just write so much, man.
and I think that people gravitate to that.
I'm a writer at heart, man. I started off doing poetry and shit.
I was gonna
man.
ask that.
Yeah, I started off doing poetry and shit like that. And
You still write poetry?
I don't. I do not. I like to think of my hip hop as poetry, man, because I write my life. I hear a lot of
I heard a lot of that on this album.
a lot of rappers.
Album came out today. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah, man, walking in rhythm.
I don't know when y'all gonna see this. Hopefully it's soon. But the album is out no matter when you see this.
Yes,
So go check it out. But we're gonna get to that.
I appreciate you. But man, I write my life, man, and I hear a lot of rappers talk about how they go through writer's block, man. I've never in my
I've heard
life,
a lot of people say that.
never in my life have I had writer's
That's
block,
a flex.
bro.
I ain't gonna lie.
Never in my life
I ain't
have
gonna lie,
I had
that's a little bit
writer's
of a
block,
flex,
dog.
though.
Because the way I look at it, man, is just how I go into it, bro. I write my life, and I feel like every year I live 365 days a year. There is no way in fuck that I cannot have something to talk about.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm writing my real
logical.
life.
That's
If I-
logical.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's
That's a sound
always something
logic.
to talk about, man. Like, we live life every day, man.
Well, I think you can see that in we were going to get to some conversations that I've seen
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
with other artists over time, right? So,
Yeah, let's do it.
But I've kind of as far as like resume,
Yeah.
we've talked. There's been talk about obviously rappers who might not have the resume.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But are wildly talented,
Yes.
So a lot of times, some of my favorite rappers in the world
Yes.
here or that I know personally don't make enough music, and there's always a reason. So it's refreshing to hear someone say, well, there isn't a reason because this is my art. Now, I'm sure I don't want anybody to feel like, who knows, individuals might be going through stuff they can't put their pen down, so I'm sure
Yeah.
that happens or whatever. But it is refreshing to hear someone say that I don't need to be, and I'm making these things up, I don't need to be like high all the time or drunk all the time,
Yeah.
or I don't need to be running the streets to be making content to write about. I don't need to be all the different things, I don't need to be in a strip club all the time. All the
Yes.
things that you'll see a lot of artists do, they feel like that's where they have to go to get the content.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I like the introspective kind of grown man talk. And
I
so
appreciate that, man.
that's what our friendship was rooted in.
Yeah.
So what does GFG stand for?
GFG stands for Ghetto Fab Gang. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying?
Okay.
Ghetto
I ain't gonna
Fab
lie to you.
Gang.
At one point, I definitely was calling it the Good Father Gang. And I don't know where I got that from, So, but it worked for me. So,
Yeah.
But yeah. So you are a father?
I am a father. I have 3 babies. You know what I'm saying? 2 sons, 1 daughter. So
Okay,
yeah,
that's a beautiful thing. That's a
it
beautiful thing.
is. It is. They're growing up fast on me.
How do you? This is a tough question, I think.
talk to me?
But how do you balance the two? Because a lot of times you'll hear 2 sides to the coin. You'll hear some people
Yeah.
say, I have to give up because I have to totally focus on my kids.
Yes, sir.
And the other side is I'm going to have to leave my kids almost to be on tour or whatever,
Yep,
different
yep.
things. I'm not going to see my kids for 6 months, a year.
Yep.
It's almost like there's no in between. You'll hear a lot of it. So how have you been able to balance both of those?
For
chasing
me-
your dream and
Yeah, for
being
me,
a father.
I'm ultra lucky. It's my family. It's my support system.
that is a big deal.
So when I was younger
That is
doing
a
the
big
music, you know what I'm saying? I got my first studio probably in 2003. My mother and my uncle Billy, they pitched in for one of my Christmas gifts. They bought me Acid Pro 4.
Fire. Shout out to them.
And I hit the ground running.
Because look
ever
what they did.
since.
Look what they did.
Yeah, man. It's my support system. I'm fortunate enough to have a beautiful wife. You know what I'm saying? She
Shout
holds
out to
down
her,
the fort. You
for
know what I'm
sure.
saying? Allows me to chase
Congratulations.
this. Thank you. brother.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yep.
She allows me to chase this music dream. You know what I'm saying? When I'm not at the crib, she's holding it down for me. And before I got married, my mother and my father, they would step in. You know what I'm saying? And allow me to travel and all that. So
your family was really close.
yeah, man, it's all my support system. Without them, I couldn't do this because I probably would be one of those guys that had to put the music on the back burner to raise my family. But
Well, yeah, because I can understand. I can understand why there's 2 sides.
yeah,
I can
man.
even try to understand the people who feel like they have to like almost make the sacrifice
Yeah.
to chase it, because obviously if you get there, you can give your family a better life.
Yeah,
You know,
man.
so I do understand it, you know, but for me, I did go to the direction of kind of just, all right, I'm just solely going to focus on, you know, being a father.
Yeah.
And sometimes I wish I'd have balanced it a little better.
I mean, I think about that
We're
too.
still here though.
Yeah, I think about that too. You know, all this time I put into the music, I think, you know what I'm saying? Well, what if I was to spend that time with my kids, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to being in the studio 24/7 or doing all these shows and going out of town and shit like that, you know? That's
Yeah, and there's investment. There's
man.
energy.
Yeah.
Sometimes you might be a little more tired or a little more
Yeah.
stressed than normal. So there's a lot of investment in it.
It is, man.
So-
it's a 24/7 grind, dog.
But you do seem like someone, for the most part, who has a decent balance,
I appreciate that.
right? Because I feel like we know some artists who are amazing, who put out some stuff, and if they probably were able to be consistent, might have took off.
Yeah.
But they can't find that balance.
Des Moines has so much talent, it's fucking ridiculous, dude.
I have a lot
of
of thoughts on that for sure. Just because, well, yeah, when I first got here, just trying to find who was who.
Yeah.
And just always feeling like there just was not like a support system from like radio to internet personality to media. It didn't feel like there was a support system. It felt like there was only rappers.
Back
know
in
what
the
I
G
mean?
though,
So-
man, we used to have 88.1. I think it was KDPS radio down at Central Campus. And they actually used to support the shit, you know what I'm saying? Like the rap. They'd have like an hour where they play all local music and shit. You could take your new
That's
single
a big
out there.
deal.
Yeah.
It's less of a big deal now. So when I first got here, it was 2011.
Yeah.
But still, it still matters, to be fair. But that was something I noticed. And then and I've worked with some of the bigger studios here and stuff, and I just always felt like there was never everybody just kind of was out for themselves, it felt like.
It's like that.
And it's how it's
It's
supposed
like
to be,
that.
though. So that's the thing. It's probably supposed to be that way, but it just seems like a city that doesn't have it seems ripe for the big label or somebody to just kind of say, this is ours.
So this
You know,
is what
how
I tell
everybody
folks.
does in the individual cities, you know what I mean?
This is what I tell folks, man, and this is just my opinion. Obviously my opinion isn't law, but I don't feel like Iowa or Des Moines, it's not a hip hop state, man. Country
see that.
music rules supreme here. You know what I'm saying?
I can see that.
They don't want the hip hop. They don't want the rap shit. You know what I'm saying? We only got 2 or 3 venues that support.
Well, venues
hip-hop,
are a problem.
You know,
So I have a little experience with venues just from Get You Some or whatever. But
yeah, it's a
venues
long
are an
list of
issue.
issues.
But
It's
I
a
think,
long list.
I think venues are an issue in a lot of places, to be fair.
Yeah.
Rap does take some heat. You know,
It
more
does.
so in city like Des Moines, for sure. But it's definitely takes some heat everywhere.
Yeah,
So,
man.
but venues are an issue too. Venues are because there's not like open mics regularly or things like that to where you would be able to find in other cities to kind of pound the pavement, basically. You know what I mean?
I feel that, man. You know, hip hop gets a bad rap. You know, just because we rap, they assume that everybody's a motherfucking gangster. Everybody's pistol toting. You know what I'm saying? They feel like their venue's gonna get trashed. Motherfuckers gonna get shot up and shit. And that shit does happen, but it's not everybody. You know what I'm saying? They can't classify every rapper into that shit. Just because I rap doesn't mean, you know what I'm saying, I'm finna come up in here and have motherfuckers fighting and shooting up your venue, because I don't push that line. You know what I'm saying?
No, and there's lots. I think there's more shows that are successful than aren't.
Yeah.
As far as safe, you know.
Yeah.
But rap doesn't do itself any favors either
It doesn't.
with the way the content comes today.
No doubt.
And things like that. That's why we talked about you being somewhat unique.
Yeah.
With the more genuine storytelling kind of.
Yes, sir.
You know. So as you were making music, is there any certain relationships you made along the way that were critical, or certain points that kind of, you know, that were that when you look back through your music career that highlight, or what's kind of some of the, you know, bigger moments that you feel like you really remember and fondly when you look back over your career?
I mean, I would definitely say, and you know, it's probably a typical answer, but it's some of the people I opened up for. You know what I'm saying? That's
a big deal.
Yeah, when you get to open up.
are some of the shows you've done?
Well, my favorite one was my favorite rapper, you know what I'm saying, if you know me, is King Crooked Eye, you know what I'm saying, from representing Long Beach, former Death Row Records artist, you know, and one of my highlights was definitely getting to meet him and open up for him and shit, you know.
Well, Crooked Eye is fire.
Yeah, and then a highlight, I remember attending a Slaughterhouse show.
Well, yeah, Slaughterhouse,
all
the potential in the world.
At Full Tech 9, that's one of my other favorite rappers. Tech 9 ended up bringing Slaughterhouse to Des Moines.
That's amazing, actually.
My
That's
number one
amazing.
and number two favorite rappers is Crooked Eye and Tech Nine. And on that night, I got to meet both of them and shook both of their hands. I was
That's a
on
big
cloud
deal.
nine, dog.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
I was on cloud nine, but that's memorable for me, man. Opening up for King Crooked, man, because that's my guy. And
No, yeah, that's a big deal.
it was a
That's
beautiful
fire.
thing.
That's fire. That's
It
fire.
was a beautiful thing.
So, how many albums have you put out?
So before I started doing albums, I was stuck on the mixtape scene, you know what I'm saying? Remixing everybody's shit.
Okay, so you were doing
YouTube
you were
beats.
doing that.
Yeah.
You were doing some playing with other people's beats.
Oh,
I used to
yeah.
love that
Because
back
we
in
were
the day,
broke.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, we were broke, man. We weren't buying beats and shit like that, you know. I probably got at least 30 mixtapes out, you know what I'm saying?
fire.
They're not all out on all streaming platforms, but I got about 30 mixtapes out. I probably got anywhere from 12 to 15 albums out, you know. And
That's a flex though.
it is a little bit, but
You know what I'm saying?
the
So
work's never done for me. That ain't good enough, you know what I'm saying? But
So what is it that Ray West, what gets him up in the morning? Like, how do you still, like you said, it's easy just to write, but you got to still love it.
I definitely
You know?
love it.
So how do you keep that fire burning, you think?
Man, my brain, bro, I don't know, dog. My brain just tells me to put the pen to the pad and I can't control it.
I am a big believer in the brain and having some, and it's powerful.
It is, man.
It's powerful. There's a insanely deep conversation to be had there, but I always tell people, like, imagine if you could harness
Yeah.
the power of your brain, and then people be like, "What do you mean?" It's like if we're thrown in the jungle,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to survive. We're gonna try to survive as long as we can.
I agree.
What if you can harness that? Because something happens to your brain in that situation.
Yeah.
What if you can harness that type of, I got to get to it. I got to get it done. Like I have to. And I've always thought the brain has some powers in it that if we could harness them,
Yeah.
there's real power in that. For
Man,
sure. Because how many people get up each day and they just can't overcome the smallest of humps to even start to write? You know what I mean?
I mean, no disrespect, but I can't relate, man. I just don't work that way. I don't know, man. I can't really put it all into words, brother. I can't.
I can't relate.
I can't, dog.
That might be the name of this episode. Because you've been flexing a little bit.
I just get up, man, and I just write what I feel, dog. It just comes to me. I don't know where the shit comes from, man. I was just blessed with that talent, man, to be able to put my thoughts and my feelings on paper and then be able to spit it out in rhyme form, man. And I feel like shit if I don't get no work done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
I feel like shit if I don't record or write.
Trip used to say you was the hardest working rapper in the city, and I have to agree for sure.
Man, shout out my doggy Trip Shelton, man.
Yeah, no, that's my guy.
Hey, man, he's a
That's my guy.
motherfucking animal. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I didn't want to say his name specifically when it's like, man, if somebody could just get over and just always be putting it out, because he might be one of the best rappers that I've ever met.
I feel like he's definitely up there. You know what I'm saying?
But
For me,
he would just talk about writer's block sometimes, which that's what would make me think, if you can just power through that.
Yeah.
How far could he have gone? You know what I'm saying?
see with Trip, you know what I'm saying? When I listen to his projects, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, we cool as hell. But my opinion of him, like, I feel like I could probably understand his perspective a little more than others because when he writes and rhymes, his shit is so complicated. You know what I'm saying? It's so technical and it takes a lot to be able to do what he does on the microphone. You know what I'm saying? So
For sure.
he seems like one of those guys, like you hear one of his songs, be like, damn, motherfucker, it must have took you like 6 weeks to write this motherfucker because it's so intricate and so detailed and put together so well. So
For sure. He would also have a lot of opinion on because he was, he was also one of the fathers who inspired me along my journey, honestly.
Yeah.
So he also would have interesting introspective, I think, thoughts on that topic as well, because he did really jump into providing for his children
Yeah.
at all costs. Not saying music can't do it,
Yeah.
but it was like at all costs, gave
Yeah.
them a much better life. You know what I'm saying? So I just think he would be somebody that would be interesting to talk to on that. But yeah, shout out to Trip. Trip is fire for sure.
And if y'all ain't listened to Jan's Boy, y'all need to go slap that shit because it's
I've been
a
through it
classic.
multiple times. I've been through it multiple times for sure.
It's a fucking classic,
I've been
dude.
through it multiple times. And yeah, and it's one of the Yeah, I mess with Trip heavy, yo. So, yeah, shout out to him. Hope you're doing well, G. Talk to you soon.
Daddies.
Speaking of that, you've interviewed him before. You talked about his album.
Yeah.
Because you have GFG TV.
Yeah.
So, was that just a sign of the times, or is that something you've always wanted to do, or just you want to document what you're already doing? What kind of led you to creating that?
What you talking about as far as GFG TV?
Yeah.
So I felt like at the time when I started doing that, I didn't think there was a real solid platform that was giving other artists opportunities to tell their stories. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Des Moines was always a me state. When I say that, I mean like you said earlier, everybody was out for themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I'd never been a for myself guy. I'm always been family oriented. You know what I'm saying? GFG is family oriented, FOB, family over bullshit. That's the motto. And I've never been scared to share my platform with anybody. I've never been scared to rhyme with anybody on a record because these motherfuckers got talent too. Des Moines, the world deserves to hear everybody. You know what I'm saying? That got skills. So I just wanted to give everybody in Des Moines the same platform that I use to tell your story. You know what I'm saying? If you want to rhyme, come get on one of my records. I ain't got no issue with putting you on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm for everybody,
that's
man.
a fire answer.
I'm for everybody, dog.
That's a fire answer because you don't see a lot of that.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of that in music, but you don't see a lot of that in life.
Real talk, man.
I ain't gonna lie. So it's funny because I feel like that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
I know people who want to tell a story or they want to get something out there or just do some good in the world, you know. So I really I can relate to that. So, but GFG TV, have you enjoyed it?
I love it.
You've made some relationships. You kind of
Definitely
learned some. You probably talked to some interesting people.
Yeah, so at first the goal, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, ultimately to give everybody a platform that I respect, you know what I'm saying? But I really I'm really about the OGs in Des Moines, you know what I'm saying? The OG rappers, you know what I'm saying? Your Smooth G's, your Trip Sheltons, your Ass Fate, Aeon Grays, like
Shout out to all those
OGs.
dudes.
I really wanted to give them their roses because it seems like
I do too, actually.
It seems like the younger generation don't even know who these guys are, and that just blows my mind. Like, you trying to be a rapper or a MC or whatever you want to call it out here, but you don't have any idea of the forefathers. And if you do have an idea, you couldn't tell me one album that you listened to by them. You couldn't list one song, but you know what I'm saying? At the same time, you talking about you respect them. Like, nigga, that's just
I can
whack.
appreciate that. I can appreciate that.
That's just whack.
I can appreciate that. So how long have you been doing GFG TV?
We probably heading into our 4th year.
Oh, that's fire.
We got
fire,
7 seasons out right now. So
what are some episodes that stand out to you?
Definitely Trip Shelton. You know what I'm saying? That was I want to say that was our first interview. Trip Shelton, Smooth G, you know what I'm saying? Shout out
well,
Jilla.
those are the guys you set out to
man.
Those are the guys you kind of set out to highlight.
And then most recently, man, I got a chance to sit down with As Fate from Maxilla Blue.
Oh, yeah, I'm very aware of who he is.
And that was the icing on the cake. You know what I'm saying? For him to come to my studio and give me his time, you know what I'm saying, after all he's accomplished, you know what I'm saying? I definitely respect everything they do musically and on the microphone. So that was a highlight for me, man.
This is a highlight for me. So it's crazy how that all comes full circle,
man,
you know what I'm saying?
Respect, dog. Respect.
But yeah, Ass Fire, actually. I met him he came to some of the battles.
Yeah, man.
He actually DJ'd and hosted one of them.
That's hard.
And he was hilarious. I ain't gonna lie.
He's that guy.
He was hilarious, man.
He's that motherfucking guy.
Yeah, he was. Say it again.
Man.
Yeah, he was hilarious.
I feel like, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Man, I feel like, for me, he's Trip Shelton and Ass Fate and Smooth G, you know what I'm saying? Them are the three dudes you need to get familiar with, the 3 OGs in Des Moines, man. If you ain't fucking with them, or if you haven't fucked with them, you know what I'm saying? Don't be talking to me.
I agree with that.
Don't be talking to me about this OG shit in Des Moines if you don't fuck with the OGs. You know I've
always said that. Actually, shout out to Smooth. But me and Smooth was cool like 10, 11 years ago. So he was one of the first people I met here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, shout out to Smooth for sure.
His work ethic is insane, too. You know what I'm saying? That's why me and him click very well. That's one of my favorite.
I got some music with him, actually.
That's one of my favorite dudes to collab with in Des Moines. I could send Smooth something right now, and that motherfucker will be ready to record either later tonight or tomorrow morning. No question.
No. Shout out to Smooth for sure. But I've always felt like he was somebody you kind of had to know.
Yes.
You know, so.
Yes.
No, I agree with that list. I would say I would put Deps on that list as well. I feel like he's been doing it forever, and he's some of the just best music that I've heard. And I do feel like I've been to some of his shows. They're always packed. You know what I'm saying? So
he's definitely one of those guys.
he's high on that list for me.
He would definitely make my top 10. Me and Deps don't really have a super personal relationship, but I think we got 1 or 2 songs together. I've been trying to reach out to him for a few years for an interview, but you know, life gets hard sometimes for some folks and shit. So
yeah, for sure.
I'm still looking for your ass, Deps. Holla at me, man.
Yeah, he might pop up on here too.
No doubt. Hey, he's that guy. He makes makes beautiful
cool.
music. He makes beautiful music.
I listen to his music a lot. For sure.
His shit is authentic as well too.
Yeah, yep. He's fire. So, but we talking about Bigg Ray West.
Talk to me.
You also be hosting.
I do host.
As a matter of fact, you hosted some battles.
Man, and I'm blessed to.
What is your thoughts on the battle rap community?
Let me start off by
city?
saying, man, I'm blessed to even be a part of the battle rap community for Crazy Baby, guys like yourself to even embrace me and bring me into hosting shit like that. I want to start out by saying thank you. I appreciate that shit,
and
man.
I think you brought a lot to it too. But it is a beautiful. I'll never forget. Tripp said, and I quote, he said, "Man, I got more of a reaction and love in my battle than I did at any of my shows."
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So I will say it has a culture of real excitement.
Yeah,
you know, like people are genuine. The artists that come to rap that day, they're genuinely excited to see. And I would go so far to say you may even catch yourself feeling the fans who come are genuinely excited to see the host. They're like genuinely excited to be there. I feel like it has that feel.
I feel like I felt some of that love for sure. I feel every time we get you some, you know what I'm saying? It's love. I feel welcome, you know what I'm saying? I get to slap hands with all the battle rappers, you know what I'm saying? Give them their flowers because you got to be a different animal to do that shit, man. I definitely respect the culture and get you some because I couldn't do that shit. I mean, I imagine if I put my mind to it, I could, but battle rap, that's not in me. When I look at battle rap, dog, this is what I don't like about battle rap, and this is why I don't get into it. I'm not a fan of sitting there writing, let's say, 100 bars about somebody, you know what I'm saying, doing your research, and then basically you get in front of a room and you try to embarrass this man in front of everybody. You talk personal shit about him and all that. Like, I'm not a fan of that. You know what I'm saying? I like to watch it, but I wouldn't do that to anybody because in my opinion, there's no way you could do all that research about me, rap about me like that, but in the back of your mind tell me you don't feel some of that about me. Don't tell me as just rhymes, like, you know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion, though.
No, for sure. And obviously, you know, I think there's probably a lot of people who can say they feel like that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But to like in this day and age, fighting is like that. Boxing is like that. Honestly, football is like that. These dudes are talking about each other's wives. So honestly, that's more, in my opinion, because I've been around battle rap since before it's ever been.
You one of them guys.
Since before YouTube. I was battling in New York in the 90s. But I will say, some of that is the culture. The culture has went further. Like, look at, like, before a fight, Conor McGregor throws a dolly through a bus. This isn't part of the sport. You know what I'm saying? This is like, there was just, the fights I recently just watched, dude, they talking about each other's wife. Crazy. They talking about each other's wives.
But
crazy.
see, they gotta sell tickets though.
Well,
they gotta promote. That's about dollars and shit. I don't see that as personal.
But I can only speak for me.
Yes, sir.
I've gotten paid for every battle you've seen me do. So I guess some people, like, it is also business. So that's what I'm saying. Like, in the contracts for battle rap, like, Hitman's gonna get paid $50,000 for 3 rounds. Yeah, that's 9 minutes of rapping or something.
That's nuts.
Sometimes 100,000, right? Yeah. So then it is about the business. You know what I'm saying? So it's in the contract. So to me, that's always been the weird line of having to get past that initial, like, when it's for the love. Yeah. Because how do you do that for the love? You know what I'm saying? So I've never researched anybody in my entire life. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I've battled dudes, I'm gonna be honest with you, that I never heard rap once. Yeah. Ever, dog. I'm so, like, disconnected from it because I just talk about whatever I want to talk about. You know what I'm saying?
See, and with that, I feel like for me, I can respect that more. Not that I disrespect anybody, but I can dig it more. Like, people that don't know each other, but you got people in this city that known each other for years, and you're talking personal about them. Like, you're bringing up real life shit about them. you calling them names or calling them whatever about their character and shit. Don't tell me that in the back of your mind that you don't feel that about that man, at least somewhat. Because you're saying some shit like, I don't know, man.
Well, no, what you're saying, I think, is super valid.
Yeah,
and
man.
And I'll say, because I'm not a tough guy or nothing, you know?
Yeah.
And I tell myself, like, nobody's ever really talked too crazy about Melody. And it's like, and they probably could to win a battle or something. So I do feel like most of the guys that really get it do get it, and you don't see as much of that as you do from people trying to make a name.
So let me ask you this. Do you feel like there's certain lines you wouldn't cross or you don't cross when you're battling somebody that you know?
It's all, well, I try not to battle anybody I know. So like after the Crazy battle, I never wanted to battle my friend again. And the only reason I took the Grady battle is because basically they said, please take this battle. Like, we really, really, really want you to take this battle.
Elaborate on the Crazy Baby battle. Why did that make you feel that way?
Because that was my man. Like, that was, and we was tight, and we fell out after that.
So it got personal.
Got into it on but I never wanted to battle somebody I was cool with again. So if you look, a lot of the times, like, I didn't know Duck. I didn't know Kill.
Yeah.
I don't know these guys. Young Dave. I don't know none of these guys.
Yeah, if you don't know
so
them,
I didn't want to
battle.
but that's not, so I guess I can kind of say I relate to you.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And even something like everything has nuance to it, right? So even something like the Grady battle, the third round where I talked about him personally didn't even exist until he started treating me like crazy. Yeah. And I told Isaac that, I'm like, why is he talking to me crazy like that? This is my man. Why is he acting like we're not cool? And when he did that, I said, okay, I'm gonna have a little fun now. Yeah. You know, so a lot of times it is a fight. So it's strategy. So once he started acting like we wasn't cool, you know,
the gloves were off.
So exactly. And now, to be fair, I will say, tell me this.
Talk to me.
And maybe not, even if you can't relate to it personally, I'm sure you know people who can.
Yeah.
Sometimes there are brothers who get into it first and then become tighter after that.
Oh, yeah.
So do you think that there's any validity to getting into a fight, a drag-out war with somebody you respect, and then being cool after that? Because, like, me and Prof got busy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know him like that, and we hugged tight as could be, and that's one of my best friends ever since. Now, granted, we didn't obviously really disrespect each other's. I just don't think there's really too much need for that.
Yeah.
So, to be fair, but had he done it, I would have been prepared for it, and I still would have showed him love at the end.
Yeah.
And we would have still been super tight. That's what I'm saying. Is sometimes it is a fight.
If
you remove the words, it's just two dudes who got up there to fist fight, and they're trying to hurt each other.
Yeah, I'm old school. I definitely believe in that law. You know what I'm saying? I believe friends could get into it. You know what I'm saying? And have a fight and then hug it out afterwards.
Close friends shouldn't battle. There's just no reason to.
Yeah.
So I will say that. I learned that with the Isaac battle.
Yeah.
And honestly, when they got offended and everything went crazy, I took stuff out of my last round.
Yeah.
Because for that reason, that was my guy. I loved him. I love his family. I wasn't willing to. Funny, circle back.
Yeah.
Fate was DJing, and he was hitting me with the "say it to her again, say it to her again." You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I was so. I agree with you. So I didn't even finish my stuff the way I had it after I seen how it upset them. So
words can hurt people sometimes more than physical shit.
Battle rap's even past that now because dudes is like pushing each other, touching each other.
None of that.
Well, no, I'm not really going for that. And again, I'm not tough. I don't claim to be tough.
Me neither.
I'm not none of that. I'm not going for too much of it either. So, but I would also never do it. Like when I pushed Grady, I had to push him back, right? I'm not gonna. I don't need to roll. I'm good. I'm confident in the ability to be good here. So, but I feel like I had to do it back. I'm not really into that. Like I'm not somebody who's gonna be touching somebody. None of that.
Yeah,
so,
man.
No, I wanted to have this conversation because I think there's a lot of people. So, are you entertained when you go to a show?
I am thoroughly
entertained. If you pay $10 or whatever the customers paid
every time,
you getting your money's worth.
Thoroughly every single time, man. Like I said, I love to see the art.
So you struggle with the inner workings of it? Like, what if it's a league where you didn't know who was friends? What if you didn't, because you just know a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
What if it's two rappers you don't know if they're friends or not? Like, because, there's fake angles all the time. Bro, there was a battle in Des Moines where a dude made up a whole thing about another dude's girl. None of it was true. It was a completely fake angle.
Yeah.
So it was made up. So how do you feel like because you know some of the situations it makes you feel like that? Or you just don't like
For
people?
me, I feel like I don't know, man. I feel like I see these guys, some of these guys, not to just, point out anybody and get you some, but some of these guys, they're friends, they hang out and do all this and that, but then they hit that switch and then they talk personal about a guy, Like, I guess overall, I'm not a fan of friends battling friends. I could probably put it that way. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. And that's what I was saying. Like, if we went to like a big smack event in New
Yeah,
York, we
yeah.
wouldn't know who was friends. So you would just enjoy it.
Exactly. And I still enjoy it and get you some, but
But you
I
kind
dig
of know,
that.
because
Yeah.
also maybe seeing it in the groups,
Yeah.
and like knowing who hangs out with who,
Yeah.
So that I can see that tainting it a little bit.
Yeah, man.
But you know, some of these guys, I will say this: you might have these two friends, right?
Yes, sir.
We both know there's some people who will go through their whole life without having people cheer for them for any reason.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's a big deal when two guys can get in front of each other and people want to hear it. So sometimes it's a gentleman's agreement of we're here to entertain. And like you said, the people who come are thoroughly entertained.
Absolutely.
So some people are just making that sacrifice, in my opinion, to entertain. And maybe you shouldn't always make sacrifices to entertain. But some people don't have, like, this is their lane. This is where people are going to listen to me. And it is kind of a business.
Yeah.
Because what if you do make it to some of these bigger leagues?
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? There is some money to be made.
I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of angles in battle rap that I don't understand, being that I'm not a battle rapper. You know,
There's tons of battle rappers who don't use wild personals too.
Yeah, man.
So it's not. I do think it's not something you always see.
Yeah.
And then you have cats like the Professor or somebody who is unique with how they talk to somebody. You know what I'm saying?
He's an educated dude.
And that's my guy.
He's
that's
an
my
educated
guy.
dude,
But
man. Shout out to
sometimes it's just
Professor.
unique. Sometimes there's guys who are unique with how they talk to people.
Yeah.
You know, so
He seems like the Professor when he raps. He seems like he's very diligent about what he says. You know what I'm saying?
sure.
And
for sure.
I like battle rappers like that as well. You know what I'm saying?
But personals are definitely, you know, to me the best battle of all time, and it is kind of regarded by a lot of people as the best battle of all time, is Hitman versus Averb, and they came into battle rap together. So they were both from St. Louis. They were super tight, and then you know they both got to the top of battle rap and battled. So they clearly had been friends at some point, and it was a super personal battle. And by the third round, you know, there was the iconic. You know, Averb was talking to Hitman, talking to him, and then he yelled his dad's name, and his dad said, "Yes, sir," and he said, "That's how you talk to your son." And so it doesn't get much more personal than that, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it was
we
so
would've been tussling like
it was so fire. But he was saying things about like you were square, you wasn't outside, you wasn't. So he was saying things to him that were true.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't know them.
But
Hitman didn't deny it.
Did dude portray to be that person though?
Of course, right? That's what I'm saying.
see?
So, and his dad was the real gangster. Was the angle?
Okay.
His Verb was trying to say, "I got you out of the streets,
Yeah.
because I'm the real gangster." It was an angle that always stuck with me.
Yes,
And
sir.
it was super personal, but it made for one of the best battles of all time. It's probably got however many millions of views, you know, and it's iconic.
Yeah.
So I would just in defense of battle rap.
Yes, sir.
I will say some people are making that choice. They're making that choice. Because Trip used to always say that too, but then he wanted to battle me. Obviously, I told him no.
So
you know
was
what I'm
that
saying?
after his first battle?
Yeah. I told him no.
So
I
he
said,
probably
"Bro, I'm
got-
not doing that. Like, there's no chance ever.
So
you can
going
give
back-
me $600, and I say no.
So going back to damn, I lost my train of thought. But hold up. Going back to what you said that he said in a record or whatever, that he got more love in the battle rap than okay. So I felt like he might have got high off of that. You know what I'm saying? You're definitely one of the big fish in the battle rap. And he felt like maybe if he could slay one of the kings on the hill, you know what I'm saying?
Well, and there's
The love will be
for sure and
immense.
there's definitely we can clash heads we can get there without going there because of the respect is there.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
You know, but it was never gonna happen.
I feel that,
I
man.
can't ever. It was never. I already wasn't I wasn't gonna
feel
battle my
that.
friends anyway.
Yeah, I can feel that.
There's definitely a high involved, because I will say some of the bigger events, and when you got 100 people screaming for you,
Yeah.
just for your words too. You're not getting no help from the beat. You're not getting no help from sing-songy concepts.
Right.
You're not getting people like this is gladiator stuff.
Yeah, it is.
So-
it is. Like I said, it takes a different animal to do that, man. And I respect anybody that can get in that ring and do that shit in front of everybody.
So let me ask you this:
Talk to me.
how do you think battle rappers translate to rapping on a beat?
Man.
Oh man.
From the battle rappers that I know, you know what I'm saying?
Well, we know, some fire ones.
I've heard good records from battle rappers, but they seem to struggle putting out albums and putting out consistent music. Like they can give you a killer single all day, but
Shout out to Naj.
I feel
Nas got some bangers.
that's my guy, man.
Nas got some bangers.
We're doing an album together. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
Nas
Y'all
got
ain't
some.
know
He
that,
gonna be
though.
here soon. Nas got some bangers though.
But I feel like a lot of battle rappers struggle to put out content because they're so sharp at going mano a mano, going one-on-one at somebody. But then when it's time to, okay, now don't write a rap specifically about one person and chopping their head off. Write about life experiences. Write about love. You know what I'm saying? Write about things, you know what I'm saying, real life. They struggle with that, in my opinion. Not saying everybody,
And lots
but
of people's opinions.
yeah, okay.
Because that's been a topic of conversation forever. Ever since Mook had a record deal, since Jin had a record deal. You know, Jin was one of the first popular battlers.
Yeah, I remember Jin.
And he had a big single too, and still couldn't translate it. He was signed to Rough Riders.
Yeah, I remember
You know,
that.
so and he couldn't translate
that.
it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Jay Mills was signed to Young Money, and you know couldn't make it shake. You know,
It takes a different type of pen when you're not focusing on one
Meek
type
Mill
of person.
came up battle rapping, and obviously he was
Yeah.
able to transition, but he left battle rap early,
Yeah.
like real early, you know, and he went straight into making music. And obviously
Yeah.
then there's Eminem, right? But he was doing it so long ago that he was literally battling on beat. So
Yeah.
it was clear he was gonna still be able to write to beats and enjoy writing to beats. And you know, Eminem doesn't have acapella battles, you know.
Yeah. A rapper, a battle rapper in Des Moines that is stupid cold with that pen, like recording and making fucking like damn near hit records, is that boy Grady.
Grady got some fire.
That boy Grady, the hooks that man be writing,
he got some fire.
They're like industry standard in my
I feel
opinion,
like, yeah,
dog.
that's how I feel about Nas too, though. Like Nas got some of the best music I heard. But no, Grady, I have some Grady stuff in my playlist.
Man, Grady's
And Rome's a battle rapper. I think Rome makes good music. You know, so
Rome is dope too. I like
No,
Rome.
well, that's what I'm saying. He definitely breaks the
Yeah.
stereotype of not being able to. Some battle rappers just can't make music.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Rome is probably one of the ones that
But he don't
stick
battle
out.
that much either.
Yeah, and if I look at Rome, I don't. Me personally, I know he has battles, but I wouldn't label
battle
him a battle rapper. I label Rome
Not
more as
especially
an
not
artist.
now. There was a time where he was
Yeah.
definitely doing it enough to where he was getting into that pocket.
Yes, sir.
But he did step away long enough. I agree. But no, Grady's fire. Shout out to Grady. Grady makes fire
Yeah.
music. I've known that for a little while.
And then Nas, you know what I'm saying?
Nas makes insane music.
Nas
Or he
is
just has
super
some
dope.
stuff that resonated with me. You know, because
Yeah.
he got some stuff that resonated with me. But like DK makes fire music. Andre makes really good music. Some of those backpack cats from Get You Some make some fire music too.
So do those guys have albums out that are available,
I
or
believe
singles, or
I think DK has a lot of stuff out, but I could also be wrong.
Okay.
You know, because I know he has a band as well.
Yeah.
You know, and stuff like that. So
DK's the homie that be walking around with no socks and shoes?
no, yeah. And
He's
yeah.
grounded.
There's a lot to that. There's definitely a conversation to be had by. I'm gonna get him on here.
I definitely
So-
spoke to him about that shit. I'd be like, "Hey, homie, man,
I've
why
talked to him about it,
you
too.
coming up in here with no socks and shoes on, man?" And you know what I'm saying? He gave me a dope explanation and shit like that.
No, there's something to it. There's something
yeah,
to
there
it.
is. Shout out DK, man.
But all in all, you enjoy battle rap. It's been.
I love it,
It's
man.
brought some joy to your.
I love it,
You know.
and it's helped. It's helped me. You know what I'm saying? It's helped me. It's given me more people recognize me. I got people that recognize me not from my music, but just from hosting the battles.
That's good. That's what.
Yeah,
Me. That's the
absolutely.
best thing that could happen.
Like,
Is
there's people
is
that
a relationship benefits both sides.
Yeah, there's people that recognize me and never heard a Ray West record or don't even know what GFG is, but they're like, "Hey, you host the battles, don't you?" You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? That's a great feeling too.
Well, because I do feel like you brought some. I feel like a host was needed. And I understand
Yeah.
you're not like the official forever host and don't have
Yeah.
a tie to get you some specific.
Yeah.
I do know that. But you brought some consistency that I really think helped a bunch.
Man, I really appreciate that, man.
Because, yeah.
I really appreciate that. I enjoy hosting all types of events, you know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, so you DJ as well?
I DJ, man. DJ every Friday and Saturday down at the Broken Spoke, you know what I'm saying? Y'all
Oh,
come fuck
you
with
got
me.
regular gigs there.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes, sir. And then
Where's that at?
off of East 14th, man. It's a little hole in the wall bar, but
Catch Ray West every Friday and Saturday, you said?
yeah, every Friday and Saturday down at the Broken Spoke, man. I'm spinning
What
all
are
the
you
hottest.
playing?
I'm spinning all the hottest hip hop shit, man. R&B, old school. You know what I'm saying?
A little bit of everything?
Yeah, motherfucker. If they tip me, I'll play whatever you want to play. We can go
Fair enough.
country, we can go rock, we can go reggae,
enough.
whatever they want, man. I got it all.
Hopefully people come down and check you out.
Yeah, dog. But I enjoy hosting, man. All types of events. Right now,
You're
I
a
don't.
tireless worker, man.
I try to be though. I try to be, and then also it's just in me. It's just
Yeah.
in me. But I don't perform a lot in Des Moines anymore. I feel like that water hole for me has dried up because we do so many shows and I've performed here so many times. I mean, I feel like it just got oversaturated. So now I'm on putting events together with people that don't get the opportunity.
I've noticed that. Can I get on the show?
Absolutely, dog. Like people that don't get the opportunity to perform on the regular, you know what I'm saying? I'm all about putting them on a show and giving them that platform, you know? So I'll host it and I DJ it, then I'll put the lineup together. I'll have a headliner or 2 headliners, and at the end of the day, I break bread with my headliners, you know what I'm saying? So it's not a money grab for me, you know what I'm saying?
Are you gonna continue to do that for a little while
Absolutely.
in the city?
I'm gonna do that as long as I can.
2024, Ray West gonna be doing some shows?
Yeah, I got hella shows.
Man, maybe
up.
not. You might not be performing at them.
I'll put them together.
You're gonna be putting on some hip hop this summer.
Yeah, definitely.
Good.
The next one we got that I'm putting together is April 5th. I'm bringing my big homie, Rich Tycoon from Oakland down here. He's going to be the headliner, and then Nas is going to be my co-headliner.
That's at Lefties?
That's going to be at Lefties.
Okay. Fire.
Yeah, man. So it's a beautiful thing.
Y'all been, GFG has been everywhere.
Man, we trying, dog. We about to hit this tour.
So who is in GFG?
So right now, currently, I have KT is dope. That's our female singer.
Yeah, she's fire.
Shout out my sister, KT.
Yeah, no, shout out to her.
I got my big homie, KA, you know what I'm saying? Jason Morris, you know what I'm saying? Killing them with the Give You a Belly Belly barbecue right now.
I know him for a long time, too. That's my dog, bro. Food is fire. Shout out to that.
Yeah. Then I got
if you need your event catered, hit him up. And honestly, I'm sure you could hit up the man Ray West right here and get you in touch with him, too. So
we can make it happen.
Fire food, though.
Yes, sir.
If you need your event catered, they do that, too.
But we got KA, we got HB the King.
That's my brother, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. Hey.
We was just talking the other night.
He's a wild boy.
No, that's my dog. Listen, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's my guy.
Yeah. And then T-Bear, obviously. Me and T-Bear been rocking for 20 plus damn near. You know what I'm saying?
He's a beast. We did a song together a long time ago.
I remember that.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
What is it? I Get On or Put On?
I Get On. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was. I feel like it's too bad it was a banger. I had a lot of fun with that.
Y'all did the video too.
Yep. Shout out to T-Bear though. That's my dog.
Shout out to X too, man, on everything.
No, for sure.
Shout out to X, man.
So I was gonna ask. So we're gonna talk about your album, you know, in something separate. But where did you record this album? I was wondering about that.
All of my recording is done at GFG Records in my home studio. Okay. I don't record anywhere else.
Have you done that for all the albums? Probably obviously not for all of them, but for the last few, have you recorded them all yourself?
I recorded them all myself. I probably got a handful of singles that I did elsewhere. I probably did 2, 3, 4 songs at Explicit Shit, but I've never recorded a whole project at anybody else's shit but my shit.
Okay, so I asked because did X master it?
Yeah, X does all my mixing and mastering.
Okay, still even for this album.
For this album, all my shit.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. When I was listening to it, I was wondering that.
Yeah, he's got the sauce, man. He's got my GFG sauce, and he knows the Bigg Ray West sound by now because we've been working together for so long. So I don't really feel comfortable going nowhere else. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of those guys that like to explore and venture out with new sounds and shit like that. You know, there's a lot of dope studios out here. A lot of people are getting
There's
been
a lot
together.
of studios popping up, actually. Some fire studios, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, shout out Carousel. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot
Sounds.
Of industry sounds. I see a lot of people going to Carousel these days. You know what I'm saying?
It's beautiful there.
I believe it, and I see it, man, but that's just not my vibe. I'm not the big studio guy. I'd rather be in the hole in the wall. It's more intimate. It's more personal for me.
And X has a lot of longevity, too.
Yeah, man.
He's been there a long time.
Everybody and their mama has recorded at that man's studio.
Yeah,
whether you love it, liked it, or hate it.
Yeah, through 6 degrees of separation, everybody connected. He's an OG for sure.
Dog.
And he's actually a super quiet OG, to be honest.
He's very humble.
I think we'll reconnect one day. I do.
That would be great.
No, I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Great.
Whether we record a song or we do an interview or something together. I could see us reconnecting one day.
Man, I'm sure all you got to do is hit that man up and be like, "Hey, when's the studio open?"
I think we'll link again. And I'm because Melody was friends with his daughter and stuff too. So I'd like to think they'll run into each other again someday because we ain't went nowhere.
Explicit is a legend in the hip hop game out here, man.
I agree.
He was one of the first guys to have a open studio to the public. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And letting all these strangers come into his house, like it takes a different type of dude to do that. You know.
Big facts.
Come into your home space where you're raising your family at.
Yeah, that's where
And he was always about that, man. He was always about that.
No, for sure. Shout out to X. We did a lot of fun. And to be fair,
Yeah.
in the scope of Des Moines, Iowa,
Yeah.
some legendary shit. So, because the Dirty Face remix video was definitely,
I recall.
was a big deal. Was a big deal. There was a lot of people there. It did like 100,000 views. It was a lot of fun.
Awesome, man.
No, and I think without it, there had to be 80 people there. There were so many different people there. You know, because Heat the Hustler was there, and
Shout out my OG,
Amos was
Heat
there.
the Hustler,
yeah,
man.
Yeah, for sure. I'll shout out to Heat for sure.
Super solid OG in Des Moines, repping the West Side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Super hard.
him and Smooth, I had met when I first got here because they were messing with X real heavy back then.
Man,
because I met X early when I got here, and we was having a lot of fun.
Man,
Yeah, we did some legendary stuff.
Guys. He don't get his roses either, man. But you know what I'm saying. I make sure.
Yeah,
I make
he
sure
was
motherfuckers get
my
him
guy
though.
man. Yeah,
I make sure he get him though.
I remember when he ran in a show and slapped a janky promoter who
Jesse
deserved
Lambert,
it.
that
Who
deserved it. Jesse Lambert.
So fair enough.
We ain't seen him since.
I remember that though.
We ain't seen him since.
I remember that though. Shout out to Heat, man.
Heat
Shout
the
out to
Hustler,
Heat,
man. VMR, man, till I die. Believe
Yeah,
that.
man, for sure,
Believe
for sure.
that.
So yeah. So shout out to X though. I was wondering if you still were working with him.
Yeah, we ain't going nowhere. He's in the process right now of mixing 3 of my albums, and he's mixing T-Bear's album right now. So
Wow.
it's going down, man. It's going
So
down.
there's GFG TV,
Yes, sir.
GFG Records, Ray West isn't slowing down.
And I also work for MCTV. Shout out my guy Steve Wilson.
You know
what
what?
I'm saying?
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about it.
He's I've known him for a long time.
Yes.
You know, because I've always been somebody who was like outside, you know, so I heard of him when I first got here, different ciphers and stuff. You know, so how did that relationship kind of come about?
So it started I used to always refer people that were grinding to get on in the hip hop shit and trying to get outside, and you know what I'm saying? I used to always refer people to Steve Wilson, like, hey, you need to fuck with Steve. This dude got more plugs than AT&T. You dig?
He's always been plugged.
Man, you motherfuckers would be shocked to know how many people that he's hung out with, interviewed, got records with, personal friends with. Like, he's got famous rappers in his phone, like he could just hit up if he wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Super plugged in. You know what I'm saying? His work ethic is unmatched as well as what he does. You know what I'm saying? He's a worker. He's a workaholic. But anyway, I used to always send people to Steve, like, hey, y'all need to fuck with Steve Wilson, you know what I'm saying? Because he's on to something. He's a worker, he's a grinder, and he's going to put you on in that light, you know what I'm saying, if you come right. But it seemed like nobody would take that advice. And then one day a light bulb just went off. Like, well, shit, motherfucker, let me go fuck with Steve, you know what I'm saying? And I reached out to him, man, and we've been friends ever since, and the relationship has blossomed tremendously. I work for MCTV. We do the podcast every Tuesday and Thursday. We be hitting the road doing these music videos. He's plugging me up with some of his connects, you know. We just recently came back from Detroit. We did a record with Marv One, shot the video and everything.
I saw that, actually. I saw that. That was fire.
That drops February 14th. Des Moines to Detroit, Bigg Ray West, Marv One, produced by MCTV. So that's a beautiful
fire.
thing. Yeah, man. I definitely enjoyed myself, man. Bottom line, man, Steve Wilson is that motherfucking guy, dog. That motherfucking Steve, man. He's a worker, and he could get you into some doors that you might not have access to. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
That's real.
So so MCTV as well.
Yeah, man. I probably got about 40 episodes with Steve over there right now.
No, that's fire.
Yeah, so
That's
MCTV on YouTube, man. Check that out. We bring a lot of local talent onto the podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Watched.
It's another platform that I'm with to let artists tell their story, man. And
So let's talk about that.
yeah, talk to me.
Now, the more platforms, the better.
I feel like it is because he has an audience that I don't necessarily have. Like he got people checking on MCTV off of relationships that he's already built. So for him to bring me into that, you know what I'm saying? I'm truly blessed. And that brings me more listeners. That brings me more viewers. More
That's how
people
I
are
feel.
familiar with me
Because-
now based off of Steve.
Yeah, well, that's how I feel because building something, it's like it's just another place for people to go tell the story.
Yeah,
It's
man.
not gonna be the same at these different places.
Yeah.
Different people have different tactics, different.
Facts.
You know, this conversation has been effortless.
Yeah.
You know, and I would like to believe, actually, I know because I follow you,
Yeah.
that it has different things in it from the other conversations and the other interviews, and it's just another platform. So
Yeah.
so I agree. I think the more platforms, the better, because there's so many artists, there's so many barbers, there's so many, real estate dudes, there's so many influencers, there's so many creators, there's just
Everybody
so many.
has a story, man, and there's a lot of hard workers out here outside of music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
And I think telling the story, people be like, oh, regular guy tells a story. Be like, you don't think there's 100,000 regular guys out there that wish someone would just tell their story?
That's
of
real.
course there is. So not everybody has the ability to do so. So if someone wants to come up and talk about, what it took to become a bricklayer who owns a concrete company, people want to hear that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So.
And then not only that, when you do these interviews and let people tell their stories, you got people out here that might not know anything about you, therefore they're not checking on you, or people that form an opinion about you without speaking to you or knowing you, and then they get on a platform and they tell your story and you listen to it. It's like, holy shit, I just gained a hella respect for this man. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm a firm believer in that too, because if you get people to tell their story, say artists or whatever, people are going to find that later. It doesn't need to be relevant to the time.
Yeah.
It's somebody telling their story, then they go and have the biggest single, or they blow up on American Idol or something, whatever, you know what I mean? Then people can go back and find their story.
Yeah,
and they're going to want to find that at multiple places.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to be like, oh, they told this part of the story over here. Over here, they was just laughing and joking. I get to see the fun side of them. Over here, they talked about when he lost his, a loved one or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, so I think people go back and look for that later.
Yeah, man.
When stories are told. That's why it was so important to me to try to tell some of Ray West's story.
Man, I really appreciate I appreciate being here, man. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm not surprised that people are going to get to hear a lot of dope thoughts and opinions on different things, from battle rap to making music and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I do want to, before we end up wrapping up, I want to circle back though.
Yeah.
To, it's almost to, I'll be honest with you.
Talk to me.
It's almost like, sometimes you'll hear it be like, yo, everybody likes that dude.
Yeah.
So and then I understand it's hyperbole. Obviously, not everybody likes anybody. I know that. But you know what I mean. I feel like I struggle with this a little bit too. Because I'm a cool cat. And it's like, it's almost like, wait a minute. What's behind all that? What's going on? Because I will say, you do come off like welcoming to new artists or different people wanting to create, or people trying to find their footing. You are fun to be around at these events.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you do bring a good energy to them. You
that.
do say you're not out here, and again, none of us are perfect, right?
Right.
But you're not out here trying to penny pinch everybody and charge every dollar for music, and so it's clear. That's clear as day to me.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I think that's almost, some people don't even know how to take that. Have you ran into that at all? That sometimes, like, some people it's almost like you're too cool.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
I hear you.
So I definitely can commend you for that, because it's hard to keep that type of energy, because sometimes people will go out of their way to find a reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's almost like people are so used to people having ulterior motives that they just expect someone to. And you're someone that, since I've met, which has been years now,
yes, sir,
I've never felt like there was ulterior motives, other than like this, trying to bring audiences together, all these positive things.
Yes, sir.
That's what I mean, all these positive things. And you bring a lot of positivity to what you do. And I just wonder if, like, have you felt any pushback from that? Or have you ever felt like, maybe a little bit of kindness is a weakness kind of thing? Or have you ever ran into some situations where, maybe you felt like people were trying to take advantage of you because you aren't as selfish as maybe other people are?
I would have to say no, man. I'm sure there's people out here that don't, you know what I'm saying, that don't fuck with me or don't like me for whatever reasons, you know what I'm saying? But I don't hear none of that shit to my face, and I don't see none of that slander on the internet.
Well, that's what I mean.
Or
People will say, that's what I'm saying. People will say if they did bad business with somebody, or something wasn't on the up and
let's
up.
touch on that. Bad business. Man, business is everything. You know what I'm saying? If you're doing good business fucks with good business.
That's a fact.
And word of mouth will get out. If you're a genuine person doing good business, that shit will spread like wildfire. But on everything.
So have you seen, so I feel like you might have seen some results from that.
I've definitely seen results, man.
From just word of mouth being rock solid to where you can walk into some doors and mess with some people based off of being Bigg Ray West.
I don't have to put on a front or an act. I can go in a room with stone cold gangsters, you know what I'm saying? I could go in a room with the hippies. I can go in a room, I can go with the suits, man. I don't have to act. I could just be me, man, and that's so beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
And I do love that about you. All
It's
jokes
just
aside.
beautiful, man, because
And it is a beautiful thing. Because I feel like that about myself.
Yeah.
And it is a beautiful thing.
yeah, man, and then consistency, man. People respect consistency. Like, you got people, not nobody specific, but a generalized statement. People feel like, oh, I'm the best at this, or nobody fucks with me, but I'm doing this and that. Like, consistent, man. Are you consistent? If you're constantly putting out work, if you're constantly doing good business, you know what I'm saying? The world will take heed eventually, dog.
For sure.
The
for
world
sure.
will take heed, man.
So, you did just get married last year?
I got married last
2022?
year, 2022, April 22nd.
So in 2022.
No, it was 23. I'm
Okay,
tripping.
it was
Don't
23,
get me
right? That's what I
lying.
thought. Yeah. So it was last year. Because it's new year, the new year.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Beautiful wedding.
Yeah, man, it was dope, man.
Talk to me a little bit about how's it feel?
Man, it feels great, man. It was a step that I knew I would always take. Me and my old lady, my wife, we've been together before we got
I heard
married.
that on the album.
Yeah. We've been together before we got married for probably 10 years, man.
Ooh, that's beautiful.
And I used to joke with her all the time when we first started dating and shit. I used to joke with her. I was like, girl, you make the 10-year mark, girl, you getting that ring. And she always used to be mad as hell, like, 10 years, motherfucker, I need the ring right now type shit. You know what I'm saying? But we actually reached the 10-year mark, man. And I was like,
And she held you to it?
man, no, it wasn't even her. It was me. I held myself to that. I was like, she deserved it way before the 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So let's put that out there. One of the most kindest, loyalest women I've ever met in my entire life, bro.
I'm not surprised because I'll tell you the truth. You would deserve something like that.
Man, I really appreciate that.
I do believe you put good out in the world.
Yeah.
It should come back to you.
Man, she's a fucking saint, man.
It's a beautiful thing.
Saint,
I wanted to acknowledge that beautiful wedding.
Thank you,
I know
man.
you had gotten married, you know, and I feel like not enough of that's not put out there.
It's
not
not.
with you, I mean in general.
Yeah.
I just mean love isn't put out there enough.
And that's so real. Like, motherfuckers is scared to talk about love these days. Like you're weak if you love your woman. You're weak if you're faithful to your woman.
Yeah,
like,
I feel that
is
way too.
complete bullshit. Like,
I honestly think it's the opposite.
I do
but
too.
One doesn't need to be better than the other. That's fine. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But I think it's the opposite.
yeah.
And there are people who have been hurt, and there's lots of hurt in the world too.
Yes,
I'm not
sir.
even going to say there isn't.
I agree.
But it's like we almost completely shy away from the love. So I feel like the kid. I'm a big believer in love and loyalty and stuff, because I feel like if there was more of that and it was preached more to the younger generations, I think they'd feel more secure in finding it. I think we've almost made them believe it doesn't exist almost. We just being the generation as a whole, like the older people, it's almost like we don't ever put it on a pedestal. So I feel like you do. So that's why I do feel like you put it on a pedestal, and I love that. So
I appreciate that, man. I feel like a lot of folks have insecurities with being vulnerable on the microphone, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't never been my issue. Like, if I loved a woman, I'm gonna write a couple records about it and let the world know that I love her. You know what I'm saying? It's just that easy for me. Like,
remember I told you I found that hard drive?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Me and Melody was going through the songs and how I redid PIMP.
Yeah.
I'm in LOVE.
Talk that shit. I would have did that shit.
I was like, I
would have did that
today.
shit.
No, that's what I'm saying. So it's funny you say that, but I was like that too. I did very big on, just speaking my truth, but also, I don't see love as a bad thing.
Love is beautiful, man.
I think it's harder to maintain it. It's harder to be loyal. So I think, in my opinion, people shy away from things that are harder. Not everyone, but lots of people. It's like harder is I just want to go the easier route. Because life is hard enough, right? Paying the bills, working. Life is hard. I agree with that.
Yeah.
So staying loyal is difficult. Or whatever wording you want, it takes work. It takes work. You know what I'm saying? So
anything
a lot of people,
worth having definitely takes work.
Exactly. But a lot of people don't want to put in the work, and then they're shocked that it don't work.
Yeah, dog.
So it's like, no, love isn't love. I actually heard you say something on the album that stood out to me. Love isn't enough, or love doesn't pay the bills, or whatever.
Love doesn't pay the bills.
But you got to start there. So you're rooted in love. Like, that's what I tell Melody, because she's the most kindest, amazing, beautiful person in the world. But I'm like,
shout out
to
Melody.
Me, I appreciate that. But the hardest thing is to tell somebody who is amazing, like, but that ain't enough.
Yeah.
Love ain't enough.
Yeah.
So that's sad to say, because you want it to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you still got to put the work in, and you put the work in.
Yeah.
And I just like that you present that to the people.
Yeah.
You know, because I just think we don't see that enough. Just
Relationships,
love, man. Just love in general.
Hey, man, I'm in love like a motherfucker, but it doesn't mean our relationship is easy by no means. You know what I'm saying? We have disagreements and shit, but we never ever we never fight like to the point where we're yelling or cursing. Like, I ain't never cursed her out or called her a bitch or no shit like that because I respect her that much. Like, once I get to a point of calling a woman a bitch to her face, we're practically done. You know what I'm saying?
I would
like,
be hurt, man, because I have you on a pedestal, man. I couldn't see you doing that.
No, I don't get down
You
like that.
seem too cool for that.
Man, I don't get down like I don't disrespect women like women, you know what I'm saying? Especially
have a
my
daughter.
wife. Yeah, and I have a daughter, but even before that, you know, I don't get down like that. When I was younger, I used to make super sexually charged music, you know what I'm saying? But having a daughter definitely rerouted that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's tough, ain't it?
Yeah, because
It's tough. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's tough.
whew, shit, having a daughter something else, boy.
Yeah. So speaking of love and relationships, are you an only child or do you have siblings?
I have a brother. I have an older brother, man, but he's in the cut like Neosporin, you know what I'm saying? He never jumped off the porch, so to speak, like that. He's always been real good in school, you know what I'm saying? Always listened to what moms and dads said, you know what I'm saying?
Shout out to that.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. And
Shout out to that.
It was a good influence on me, you know what I'm saying?
You guys have a strong relationship?
It's getting better now.
Good.
It's getting better now. For a while, we just lived two different lifestyles. You know what I'm saying? I don't identify as a street guy, but I was definitely more street. You know what I'm saying?
And probably around some people.
I hang out with street niggas. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not a street nigga, if that makes sense.
It makes
you know what I'm
all
talking
the
about?
sense.
And
It makes all the sense.
my brother just never was like that. That type of lifestyle never appealed to him, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? And he's been working at the post office for damn near 20 years. You know what I'm saying?
So he's gonna be all right.
Yeah, he's super solid, man. He's a super solid guy, very
Love that.
genuine, caring, you know what I'm saying? Loves his family, loves his wife, you know what I'm saying?
Seems
So,
like some of that runs in the family.
our family's tight, man. I was fortunate enough to grow up in a home with two parents, you know what I'm saying? I ain't never have to move around. I ain't never had to go to hella different schools or no shit like that. My parents stayed together up
It's a
until
beautiful
my father
thing. I ain't gonna lie
passing.
to you because I had a pretty terrible. So that's a
Yeah,
beautiful
man.
thing.
It is, dog.
And your moral compass, it seems like they kind of put your moral compass in the right direction as well.
Yeah, man,
So
I feel that.
It seems like you got some good roots
Yeah.
from the household you grew up in.
I definitely do, man. My parents never fought in front of us. I've never seen my dad hit my
love
mom
that.
or none of that crazy shit, you know? I was just blessed, man. I'm just blessed.
And it seems like maybe that's rooted in how you carry yourself today.
Definitely.
And loving your wife, and loving your
Definitely,
children,
dude. Definitely.
and trying to be a role model for your family and trying to.
And that's why I try not to shit on anybody that doesn't walk the path that I walk, because I understand that everybody grew up different, you know? A lot of people grew up without a father. A lot of people grew up in seeing drugs all around the house and shit like that, and seeing their mother or their father have multiple partners in and out of the house, and they didn't see love growing up.
Yeah,
I
we were just
seen
talking about
love
that.
growing up, and I felt love growing up. So
It's beautiful
I
you
try
still
to
put it
give
in the
that
world.
out, man.
It's
I try
needed.
to give that out.
It's needed.
It is, man. The world needs more love. Iowa needs more love. Des Moines needs
Hip-hop,
more love.
all of it.
Yeah,
All of
man. So I try to do that, man. I try to put the love out there, man, and care for people, man. Give a fuck about people, man.
Yeah, well,
Like,
it's needed. That's why
real.
that's why I'm honored to have you here, because I knew what it was.
Yeah.
And I wanted more people to know what. And you know what? They probably all do. There might be 3, 10, whatever people that are going to be new
Yeah.
to you through this interview.
Yeah.
I wanted them to know that because
I appreciate
because
that.
I've always felt that.
I appreciate that, man.
So if you don't want to talk about this,
We can
totally
talk about
fine.
anything you want to talk about.
But at some point, you stop drinking.
Yeah.
So first off, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a big deal.
Definitely for me.
So is that something? So when you stopped drinking, it was something that you felt like you had to do. Was there a rock bottom involved? Was there kind of what led to you saying, okay, I have to change my life?
So fortunately, there was no rock bottom, but I just knew it was getting out of control. You know what I'm saying? I was the best at beer. I'm gonna put that out there right now. I was the best at fucking beer.
I wanna say something real quick. This is the second time in an interview you said you best at some regular shit.
Yeah,
and I did ask you if Ray West is a competitive guy in regular life. Is all I'm saying.
Right.
You said you wanted to be the
did.
best
You
gangster
did.
and the
Yeah.
best drinker.
Yeah.
So, but also the best husband. We
Yeah,
want to put the
nah.
good out there. So that's funny. But so okay. So
I was
you were drinking
beer
heavy.
I was drinking beer 7 days a week. You
Like
know
it was
what
a
I'm
job?
saying? Yeah, man. I got down. And then I was definitely Mr. Parmesan. If you know me back when I was drinking, you know that I kept that Parmesan on me, and I should be sponsored by fucking Parmesan brandy
So
as much as I mentioned that.
so around when did you stop? Or like how long ago are we talking when things were getting crazy?
I'm coming up on probably 2 years sober from alcohol, dog.
So like 2020, was it the pandemic kind of? After a little bit after the pandemic?
Probably late 2021 or early 2022 or some shit in that.
And cold turkey.
Cold turkey.
Okay, so it was getting crazy. And was there something, there's a conversation, and was there something that kind of made you feel like, all right, now's the time?
I just knew over time my body wasn't going to be able to handle what I was putting it through.
That's super intelligent and logical.
Yeah.
And I just want to say there's lots of people who struggle with this.
They definitely.
And the fact that you were able to till this day overcome it, and I'm sure it's a fight each day. You know what I'm saying? Because sobriety isn't something that happens; it's something you do every day. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
So there's some people that are struggling with that fight. So I appreciate you being willing to talk about that.
Yeah.
So I wanted them to kind of hear. So understanding what you're doing to your body is to have the wherewithal to do that is a big deal.
Yeah.
You know. So you started to were you feeling like were you not feeling good, or were you?
So my family has. Let me start by saying on my father's side, my father passed away. He was 65 years old.
Yo, rest in peace.
On his side of the family, that is the longest living male. 65, you know what I'm saying? Everybody on the male side of the family dies young, bud, like crazy. And then my family is known to have bad kidneys, you know what I'm saying? I had multiple uncles, my father himself, all on dialysis, kidney failure type shit, and I would be a lie if I said that wasn't always in the back of my mind, you know what I'm saying? And my dad, before he passed away, he was on dialysis and shit like that, and it just, a light bulb went off, like, man, I'm done with this drinking shit, you know what I'm saying? I started valuing my health more, you know?
So, do you remember the last night you drank?
Absolutely. I was at Denny Arthur's with T-Bear. Probably drank like 8 motherfucking Grey Goose and cranberries, you know what I'm saying?
That's my favorite drink.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't drink. I haven't drank in years.
Man.
But when I did drink, that was my drink.
I remember the exact night, you know what I'm saying? And I was fucked up. I had a hangover for like 2 days and shit, and it just went off. Like, man, I'm done with this shit. Like, the hangovers, once you get older, man, it's harder to fight them hangovers.
Well, yeah, that was one of my factors. I couldn't do it.
Man, I used to go to work every day hungover, man, and you just reach a point where it's like, man, fuck this, dog. This shit is trash.
So did you? So it can be tough to kick alcohol. So was there any initial kind of struggles, or did you do anything to kind of get through, or is there any tips you might have for somebody else who's trying to kind of?
So once again, I'm fortunate enough to have. I'm very strong minded. I'm one of those guys that if I put my mind to it, it's just gonna happen. Like, I quit tobacco cold turkey. I quit alcohol cold turkey. Right now, I quit the herb cold turkey. Like,
I want to talk about that.
I'm just like that, man. Like, one day I just wake up, I make the decision, and I'm done with that shit. Like, just
fair enough.
I'm just done.
Fair
man.
enough.
I'm just done, man. Like, it's just like that. I don't know. I'm just wired that way, bro.
No, that's good, because obviously, I'm assuming you saw some positive kind of. You probably feel a little better, or you probably saw some positives.
I tell my
once
guys,
you stop drinking.
I tell my guys it was the best decision I've ever made in my entire life. Leaving alcohol alone, man. Like, once I quit drinking alcohol, man, my focus, I felt like I was laser focused drinking, but once I quit, like, that shit increased tremendously, man. Like, the music, the work ethic, all that just turned up a notch. You know what I'm saying? More opportunities started coming to me. Like, it's just wild, man. Like,
is there a little bit of? I'm assuming you're able to be a little more invested in your moments as well.
Yeah,
you're a little more present, kind of a little more, you know.
Yeah. Because
when you get a little too lit, sometimes things get a little blurry. So I'm sure these last 2 years, the music journey has been maybe more enjoyable.
It has. But I hear people that drink, you know what I'm saying, alcoholics or whatever, weekend warriors, whatever you want to call them. People say they get blackout drunk. I've never in my life been blackout drunk. I'm one of those guys that can drink, but I remember everything. Like, I don't do shit and be like, what? I did that? I was where? You did this to who? Like, never been that guy. Like, I was a diligent drinker, you know what I'm saying? Always aware of my surroundings, you know what I'm saying? You could get caught slipping wherever, whenever. But
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming you were like a little happier, a little more fun. You know, some people, a lot of times alcohol just make them more of who they already are. So if somebody's already an angry, mean person, they get angry and meaner. Like when I drink, I'm telling you, I love you 400 times. Pause.
I'm a lover. Yeah, me too.
I'm happy to be with my homies. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm wandering around.
Man.
Yeah, I'm wandering around, just meeting people. You know what I'm saying?
That was me.
I'm
as
your
well.
biggest fan.
Alcohol definitely brought my circle together. You know what I'm saying? My circle. We bonded over that shit. We bonded over that shit.
Yeah, for me, it definitely was. It made me feel like crap. I never drank that much, but it did make me feel good, and you know, so
yeah, man, it brought us together, man. I'm a lover, not a fighter. It doesn't make me violent at all.
But you're also somebody who's cool, like you. It's clear you don't need anything to be able to be cool in the room, to talk.
Yeah.
Some people don't feel like that. That's not something I've ever been able to relate to. They don't feel like they can even be themselves.
Yeah,
I'm someone, if y'all all drinking, I'm having just as much fun with y'all.
Yeah.
I'm going to laugh. You're going to think I'm just as much fun. We laughing. We chilling. I'm good. You know what I mean? Some people don't feel like they can fit in without it, you know? So I can't really relate to that, but...
I mean, I feel like some relationships have grown apart, you know what I'm saying, now that I don't drink, which made me
probably natural a little bit.
It's probably natural, but I'm a overthinker sometimes too. So to me, when that type of shit happens, it makes me think, well, shit, were we ever really that tight, or did we just bond over motherfucking weed and alcohol? And I feel like today I see that, like, now that I don't drink, some of those relationships aren't as strong as they used to be. So it's, you know what I'm saying? Which is okay, which is cool, but...
Well, and I think at least for me, have you noticed that all that, like, growth comes with a little bit of that, too? Sometimes you grow away from people who are a little more stagnant. And I'm not speaking to, I am speaking to some specific people, but I'm not speaking to anybody specifically in this sense. So I've noticed that, and I'll be honest with you, because this took me a long time to get started, you know?
Yeah.
And one of the things that I struggle with the most is, like, when I do get started, I'm only going to get further separated from those people. And I'm not going to be like, you don't get to come back later. You know what I'm saying? Because I was trying to do the hard work now. Like, I was trying to change and be a better person now, and y'all kind of went a little MIA when I was doing that. Yeah. But when I wasn't trying to be a better person and I was comfortable with being down here with y'all, you know, the rat race, whatever, you know, and not trying to get better, everything was cool. We laughing, we he and ha.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But as soon as my conversation changed, constantly about how do we do better? How do we get a house or a venue? How do we start a business? How do we do all these things? You know what I'm saying? As soon as I started having those conversations, they started to shy away, and we grew apart a little bit.
Some folks are intimidated by elevation.
For sure. And honestly, some people I love, I'm even astute enough to know it's not even on purpose. They scared. Yeah. They scared of elevation.
Yeah.
They scared of not punching and you gotta punch the clock. This isn't about work.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Just
yes, sir.
The comfort of just this is what I do every day. Like, I don't want to step outside of this. I go and party, I go to work. I go and party, I go to work. And it's like, I know good people who do that. And like I couldn't even break them free from that. Like let's all get lawnmowers. Let's all whatever, you know what I'm saying? Metaphor. Man. Let's get something going so that we can have a better life. Yeah. Sometimes my homies they would show me something like they'll show me something cool on Instagram and I'd be like, that's cool. Why can't we have one of those? Yeah. And it would bother them because I would be like that all the time. But I'm like, this is not an act. Why can't we have one of those? Because it's $300,000. Okay, why can't we have $300,000? Yeah. And obviously I understand why. A lot of people don't ever become successful and all that. But why wouldn't we rather spend our time trying to have that than looking at it?
Yeah, man.
And I noticed that made people shy away as I started to grow. So I noticed that you've been growing also in these last couple of years that you've been sober. And, you know, we as we covered, you've been doing music forever. Yeah. But it's clear as day you're stepping into kind of like an OG role, like you talk about, kind of like a kind of a legendary kind of,
and it's
key
crazy
to the city type of role.
It's crazy to even get to that point because I would say probably about 4 years ago. Obviously, I got a lot of music and I was doing shows and shit. But about 4 years ago, there was a time where no venue in Des Moines, I couldn't get booked anywhere, bro. Like nobody would put me on a lineup or a bill. So I went to the point I started going out of town. I made relationships out of town. I was performing out of town and shit. And I remember I hit up Giuliano Doc. Shout out Julie.
Yeah, that's my dog.
Yeah, that's my guy,
Trapper
man.
Julie.
Shout out Julie. And I remember I reached out to him because at that time he was doing a lot of shows in Des Moines.
I was going to him.
Yeah, and I reached out to him and I was like, man, what's up, Cuddy? I need to get on something. Like, I can't get booked nowhere. Won't nobody give me a venue to throw a show at or nothing. And that motherfucker just opened his Rolodex to me like, where you want to be at? Where you want to do? You know what I'm saying? Type shit. So I'm eternally grateful for Giuliano doing that for
that's
me.
my dog. So
Yeah.
he always been cool. We've been rocking for a long time. So
Yeah, man.
he was to me. I enjoyed. Yeah, he was an artist that I enjoyed following.
Shout
I
out
would
to
go
him.
to all his shows. I learned his songs.
Yeah.
For a few summers in a row, he was outside.
Yeah, dog.
And I know he's still making music. He has a
Yeah.
beautiful family. So, but I mean, he was outside. He was
I Don't
bringing
Bother a
people out to
Soul
shows.
is out right now, streaming right now.
I
Giuliano
listen
Doc.
to all Julie's music.
Everybody get with that. Get up on it, though.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Giuliano for sure.
But he helped me kind of maneuver through that dark time, and then I don't know, man. Shit just started happening for me, man. Shit started happening for me. I'm in real tight with Lefties Live Music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Shout out Lefties.
It seems like that.
Yeah, and
Shout out Lefties.
They damn near let me throw an event whenever I want to. They open up the calendar when I'm ready to do some shit, and it's a beautiful thing, dog. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. From the outside looking in, it's you can tell it's a beautiful thing. So, what is something you would tell a younger Ray West, fresh out of high school, trying to figure it out?
I would definitely say invest in yourself.
Like financially or just in general?
Financially, invest in your craft, dog. Invest in your craft, because if you want other people to take you serious at what you're doing, you got to take yourself serious. You got to be able to put your own money into yourself.
That's what I do.
You gotta buy your own beats, have them properly licensed. You got to pay that extra money to get your shit mixed and sounding right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to have instead of shooting that weak ass music video on a phone or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Pay the guys in the city that are shooting
shout
quality.
Out to phone music videos.
You know what I'm saying? Like, well, nowadays you can do that. You
No,
can
no,
get away
I
with that
get
shit
it. No,
now.
invest-
But
yeah.
back then, though, man, like, people don't take you serious until you take you serious.
I've always said that.
Dude, and it's so real.
I equated that to even when people would rap, I'd be like, yo, if you don't feel like you feel your shit, why am I gonna feel your shit?
Man, it's
if you're
real.
not rapping with no confidence, because that was always something that I, kind of harped on. And so when I rap, I try to like really like, I want people to feel that shit. But it works because a lot of times if you feel yourself, people feel you.
Yeah.
So it's like people can tell you taking yourself serious because you rapping like you taking yourself serious. You know what I mean?
And man, it's all about the package. You know what I'm saying? You got to get that. You got to pay that motherfucking dude that does artwork. You got to pay for that dope artwork, as opposed to just trying to go the cheap route and you ain't never used Photoshop, but you slapping together an album cover on your own just to save dollars. Like, stop trying to cut corners and save dollars and put your money in your craft. Once you do that, motherfuckers will see that. People see that, and they will take you serious, man. And
That's solid advice for sure.
I would tell my younger self that, and then I would tell my younger self, man, lose the entitlement shit. You ain't did shit yet. You still here in Des Moines like everybody else. Just because you got 30 mixtapes don't make you better than anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there's definitely humble can get you in some doors.
Man, humble.
Really
dude.
though, like we was talking about earlier, almost like a brain thing. It's like harnessing it.
Yeah.
Though, so you got to know when to be humble, and you got to know when to not be walked on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And,
That's real.
And I will say to your piece of advice, a lot of times you'll hear somebody say like, "Oh, well, it's easy to say that. I don't got no money." Right? I'm growing up in a poor house, whatever.
Nigga, I'm broke as fuck.
But that's what I'm saying. And my pushback will be like, well, do you smoke weed? Do you eat McDonald's? Whatever it might be. And then you sound like the crazy old man or
Sacrifice.
whatever. But it's like, but that's my point. Like, what phone do you have? Whatever. It's like, well, you sound crazy. Do I though? So it's not about having enough money to invest in yourself. It's about the sacrifice.
Yeah, man.
That's what I wanted to add, because it's about being willing to make the sacrifice. To say, you know what, I'm gonna find an extra $100 a paycheck, or I'm gonna invest it in myself,
Dude.
and that's hard to do.
It's real.
Honestly, it's hard to do. I ain't gonna lie, man. I knew so many like dudes in the streets that was making real money in the streets.
Yeah.
And no matter how hard you tried to convince them, like, yo, if we do this other thing, it'll work, and it's a guarantee. It's like, but no, it's not. I got to make the sacrifice to stop doing this and hope that works. And this is already working. It's like, well, if you don't believe in something else, you know what I'm saying? If you don't believe in it, you're always going to have to be in the streets getting that right now money. You have to be willing to believe in something bigger, or you can't ever achieve it.
I agree.
You know
with
what I'm
that.
saying?
I
So
agree with that.
a lot of dudes will be like, they get stuck in a lifestyle where I make my paycheck, I buy these sneakers, I buy this weed, I buy these specific things, I go out to eat, I do these specific things, and I'm just going to keep doing this. And it's like, I don't want to take away from that for something that isn't a guarantee. Well, it's like, well, then how do you ever get past the plateau you're at now.
You don't.
So, and I think so. A lot of times people say, well, what do you mean I don't have any money? It's like, no, you're funding your current life. Because obviously, we're not talking about some extreme scenario where some guy is like homeless or whatever.
You drop a science, dog.
You know,
you drop a science.
But I know that a lot of times you'll hear the pushback. I did it myself. You know,
Yeah.
like, well, I don't have nothing. It's like, well, in reality, you can find something to put towards this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
man, that is all real shit that you said, dog. Like,
but easier said than done. Keep grinding because they
Yeah.
got somebody like you to look up to.
I appreciate that.
I'm old as hell, and I look up to you. So,
Man, that's love,
you know,
man. That's love.
But I'm
man.
also a sponge. I'm very aware that like I want to be like I want to be well versed, and I want to know what I'm talking about, and I want to know what's going on. So I'm always going to listen.
Knowledge
Because
is everything.
It's so much, dog. And
Knowledge
it's like,
is everything.
The more I listen, now the next time I get in the room with those same people, now I'm moving and shaking.
Yeah.
Because I heard you say this, you got kids, or you got this, or you got that, and then when I meet you again, it's like, oh, how's such and such doing, or how's that project you got going on, or how like so people realize like, oh, you're making real connections.
Yeah.
By listening, you can't really connect with nobody if all you're trying to do is talk.
That goes back to the old school law, man. Brody, God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason.
For sure. And
dig?
there's time and places for both.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But you know, being humble is a big deal. Showing love is a big deal. You do really embody what you know you wish the journey looked like.
I
Now,
really
granted,
appreciate
there's
that.
dudes in the streets and they look a little different or whatever, but
Yeah.
you know, everybody, I think it's unfair to say everybody. Most people can find some sort of love in their life to embody. They can find some sort of good in their life to embody.
Yeah.
They can find somebody who needs them. So they, you know, a mama, a grandma, kids, to where you got to just go a little harder for your people. You can find some love to root your story in.
And sometimes people just need to see somebody that they love or respect do it the right way to motivate or encourage them. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
I think there's probably a real possibility you're doing that for some of these guys that are outside.
Man,
So
I hope so.
it's a super
man.
big deal.
I hope so, man.
So you just had an album come out. We're gonna talk about that here in a little bit. Easy hour and a half. We already done went an hour and a half.
Damn, that's crazy.
Easy hour and a half, right? And you
Damn.
and I can sit with you all day because I
Damn.
already know that people gonna love what you're talking about because this is lacking, man. We could easily, you know, no jumper Adam 22 something and get some clicks, but
Damn,
I really
an hour
want
and a
people.
half? It felt like 45 minutes.
Yeah. So no, I'm saying it felt like it flew by. So
That's
I
crazy.
really appreciate you taking the time.
That's crazy.
You know, I don't want to leave any doors kind of unopened. So, you know, how do you feel about the? We're gonna get into it, but how do you feel about the current state? You just dropped the project today.
Yeah.
So how do you feel like the current state of where Ray West is at, and kind of, you know, how do you feel about what's coming next for you? And you excited or?
I'm very excited, man. I feel like something's definitely about to bubble like shampoo. I can't put my finger on it. I can't say, oh, I'm about to sign a deal or get some major distribution or something, but something's in the air.
I'm glad you brought that up, though.
Something's in the air, man. I can feel it. I can sense it. And something in my heart is telling me I'm doing shit the right way as of lately. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
No, I can see that.
I don't know what it is. Something's going to happen, though.
So, in a perfect world, if it's up to you,
Yeah.
are you trying to hope a situation comes where you can get out and kind of get your music out to as many people as possible? Or are you looking for a situation where you can put out other people's music and kind of be a distribution kind of point?
Yeah.
Because I will say this. Actually, I'm glad we didn't wrap up because you do address some people who have, for lack of a better word, made it out the city.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you do address that. And you do
Yeah.
address that maybe the bridges and the olive branches haven't been as bountiful as you would like.
Correct.
So let's just say that. So is it your goal then to be that person who doesn't do that? Who does try to open doors and put other people out? Or if we're being honest, when it gets to that point, it's like, I got to worry about me.
I've never been a me guy. I've always had a team. I've always had GFG Records. And then as far as we had GFG Records, I've always had at least 4 artists that work with me, you know what I'm saying, or more, you know. I would say, yeah, if I ever get the opportunity, I'm definitely going to come back out here and work with motherfuckers that want to work. You got to have the work ethic, though. I'm not just because you rap and we're cool doesn't mean that I'm going to help you distribute your shit or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You got to have the work ethic. You got to show me that you want it. You know what I'm saying? maybe not as bad as I do, but I got to be able to sense that you want this shit and that you're putting in the work. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely into one day, you know what I'm saying, coming through and being able to sign everybody in Des Moines that has that type of work ethic.
Bigg Ray
and
West, the
giving them-
label exec?
Yeah, I'm with that. I've always ran a record label, you know what I'm saying? Some people don't take it serious, but this is my life and shit, it's everything
Yeah,
to me.
you take it serious. And the
it's
people who know
everything
you
to
know
me.
you take it serious.
It's everything to me.
Obviously, we know a lot of the same people.
Yes, sir.
So even in business conversations or whatever word you want to use, just creation or talking to people, people's names came up, you know, whatever. So,
Yeah.
And everybody knows that you take it serious and you believe in what you got going on. And I think it permeates to some other people, and it's valued for sure.
Man, I really appreciate that, dog. Man.
So yeah. Hopefully you'll be able to put some people out one day. I mean, you kind of put some people out now.
I put out everybody on GFG Records, you know what I'm saying? I'm behind everybody's album that drops, you know what I'm saying? Just helping them reach their goals, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
If I can help my artists, you know what I'm saying? I'm all about that. Whatever they need, if I can afford it, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to do it. Even if I can't afford it. I got hella credit cards maxed out due to this music shit and touring shit.
You definitely you talk about some sacrifices for sure.
Man.
You do talk about some sacrifices, and I know it definitely takes some sacrifices to try to get ahead.
Being an independent musician is very expensive. Very.
Well, we talked about that, and you need to invest in yourself to stand out.
Yeah.
That was what was kind of important for me. Is when I got going, I wanted to be like, okay, this clearly stands out because there's effort put into putting this thing together, as opposed to just listen to me. You know,
Yeah.
I wanted people to see the effort put into it.
Yeah, man.
Is there any artists that you haven't worked with yet that you want to?
I'm still
Or
trying
that maybe you haven't worked with enough?
I'm still trying to get that Ass Fate feature. You know what I'm saying? I sent him a record probably like 6 months ago, but he was definitely going through some things, you know what I'm saying? He recently lost his daughter, so shout out to Ass Fate, you know what I'm saying?
Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
So I know his mind isn't where he would want it to be at right now, especially
We think about you,
musically.
though.
But,
Legend.
I need to get that Ass Fate feature still.
Legend.
Believe it or not, I still don't have a Giuliano Doc feature, but
I'm sure that's gonna get taken care of.
his first time in the studio, even on a record, was with me though. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what happened to the song or what we did, but I need that Giuliano feature. Let me think, man. The list is getting smaller and smaller.
No, that's fire though. That's fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely need to make those happen.
Trying to think though. I don't want to. Who do I want to? You know what I'm saying? Get down with that I haven't ever got down with.
Or maybe there's people who came through that recorded and the music never came out.
Shit.
Think there's any of those people?
So for the record, shout out to my guy Future.
Two different joints.
T-Bear's album is dropping this year, and you're on that thing.
Good.
It's
I'm
in the
excited.
process of getting mixed right
excited.
now.
I'm obviously joking. It's all
No,
love.
yeah.
But I know it is taken serious, so nothing happens
Yeah.
that it's like there's rollouts involved, and there's lots of different. Because I actually know there's some other people who've done music with, and the songs ain't come out yet either. I've been waiting for them.
Fucking right now, my setback with all the material that I'm sitting on is financial because, like I said, you got to pay to get all this music mixed. Like it is insane how much the shit costs to do this shit the right way. And I'm trying to do everything the right way as opposed to taking shortcuts.
We talked about that, so
yeah.
at least you stand on what you
stand
on what
if
you
people
say.
If people don't hear that shit for 4 years, I'm okay with that because I know when it does come out, it's gonna come out the right way. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna sound dope. It's gonna sound tight. But yeah, dog. I done lost my train of thought.
Well, no, I'll get it back on track for you. Talking about how the songs that I came and did for you, you never put out.
So you did.
I'm
you
kidding.
did.
No, but you was talking about
I need to
songs not
speak on
coming
that
out.
though. I'm gonna speak on that though. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna speak on that. You did the Ice Cold. We had a song called Ice Cold.
I had a lot of fun with that one.
And that was
really
supposed to be
enjoyed
on
that
that was supposed to be on the homie KA's album. Okay. So what happened with that project is when we got ready to go mix it, the beat was never purchased. Okay. So we went back to purchase the beat and it was no longer available.
Gotcha.
So
hey, to me, that's a learning lesson for people.
man.
Because we was talking about why you need to do those, or you was telling people what they needed to do. That's one of the reasons why you would need to be on top of something like that. Because stuff like that could happen.
So the beat was no longer available, so we couldn't purchase it and get the fucking the stems for the beat to extend the beat like it was supposed to be.
Got you.
So the beat that I do have, it was just what they call it, not
A loop?
no, it wasn't a loop, but the type of license. It wasn't an
Got you,
exclusive
got you.
license, and we didn't buy it to where we got the stems. We just ended up buying it to where we got the regular MP3 and the wave.
Got you.
So for all the people that we had on that record, I definitely needed the stems to extend the beat, and the beat was no longer available.
Yeah.
But-
All right, well, breaking news.
Yep.
That hurts a little bit. But I just had fun with that one.
I still got the record.
I really snapped on that one. I
I got
enjoyed that
everybody's verse still, but if we put it out, it's only gonna be able to be 2 or 3 people on the song as opposed to the 8 that it was supposed to be.
Or maybe one day you get to have fun with the BPMs and remix something and use the verses for something. At least you still have them.
And ultimately, like I said, that wasn't my record. That's the big homie KA's record. So it's kind of in his court right now how he wants to attack that and what we're gonna do and who will make the final cuts right now. But
For sure.
he has an album damn near completely recorded. It's just sitting in the vault right now. You know? So
how come HB ain't dropping an album?
HB is busy being a father right now.
I know. We talked about it the other day.
Yeah, man.
We had a long conversation about it, actually.
He's doing the daddy thing, you know what I'm saying?
Do you be trying to push him to record a little more, though?
I fell back this year, man.
Because I ain't going to lie. On the album, he did his thing, dog.
Hey, he'll come out for me.
I was shocked, actually.
He'll come out for me.
That sounds crazy. That's my man. You know what I'm saying? So that's
I
my
can get
man,
him.
too. He's always fired. But that's what I'm saying. Maybe there's something, too, when you don't hear somebody that much.
Yeah.
So when they do bring something out, it's like, oh, man. But I felt like the voice was there. He was riding that beat.
Yeah.
Bro, my man said, I took some time off to watch my daughter walk, and they thought I lost a step.
Talk that shit,
Bro,
boy.
when I heard that, I almost crashed my car.
Yeah, dog.
I ain't going to lie, because obviously I can relate to that. So I will say that I can relate to that heavy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, yeah, that's my guy. I remember, like, this is my man. You know, he helped me and Melody out, he, you know, so many times. That's
yeah.
my guy.
Yeah.
So he knows that I was doing that grind, too. So to see it now, be like, it's beautiful, ain't it?
Yeah,
It's beautiful,
man.
ain't it? That's what I was telling him when we was talking the other day. It's a beautiful, huh?
Yeah, man. HB the King, man. He's definitely
He killed the album, though. I just wanted to say that.
Thank
He killed
you.
the album. Actually, I really
Thank
like
you.
it. We're going, I mean, I almost feel like I want to talk about the album. You know what I'm saying?
Let me say this.
I do want to talk
real
about
quick.
the album. That's
Let me
what,
say
so,
this real quick. HB the King, man, he's definitely he has definitely put music on the back burner, and he's sitting in the back seat right now. And I used to be super trying to motivate him to get back at it, but you know what I'm saying? You just reach a point where you realize, you know what I'm saying, folks are gonna do what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? Folks
He
are
showed
gonna
up
apply
for the album.
They're gonna apply themselves to what they want to apply themselves to, you know, and
Well, it's balanced, like we were talking about earlier. Some
Yeah.
people make a choice to go on one side or the other.
yeah.
You know, so
People
and there's no right or wrong. There's no handbook to this shit.
Yeah. He knows, you know what I'm saying? He knows he's my bro, and he knows whenever he wants to get back to it, he's always going to
And
have a
fatherhood
seat
is
at my
beautiful.
table, man. He's
Fatherhood
always
is beautiful.
and he'll always have a plate at the GFG table. He knows that.
Well,
you
with
know?
features like that,
Yeah,
no,
dog.
he really killed it though. I did like all the features though.
Thank you.
I really did like the features. So
But I could get him out, though. I could get him out for some singles, you know what I'm saying? If I need some features for my shit, you know what I'm saying? He's coming with it. But as far as a full-length HB, the King project, you know what I'm saying? Who knows with that, you know?
we'll get one. We'll get one eventually.
I hope so. You know what
And
I'm saying?
it'll be a much more grown and mature kind of,
Yeah.
you know, with some wisdom.
Yeah.
Because fatherhood will definitely alter your perspective. It'll definitely it changes the way you think a little bit. It has to.
Everybody has priorities, and everybody prioritizes shit different. You know what I'm saying?
Big
And
facts.
for him, as family, and I can't never ever be mad at that because I'm a big family guy too. You know what I'm saying? We just approach it differently. You know what I'm saying? And there's no right or wrong way to approach it. You know what I'm saying?
How
As
old
long as
you?
you're present.
How old were you when you had your first kid? Was you young?
21.
Okay.
21. I'm 36
But not
now.
that young.
Yeah.
Not that young. But
I
a
was-
little young.
I
I
was-
had Melody when I was like 23, I think. Or
I
something.
was stupid immature though when I had my first kid. You know what I'm saying? It was
I mean,
yeah.
in our early 20s, I mean, I guess I can
Oh,
always speak
yeah.
for me. I had definitely hadn't had it figured out yet.
Yeah.
I still don't have it figured out, to be fair. But
Me either, dog.
but in my early 20s, though,
Yeah.
in my early 20s, though,
It was all bad.
we're gonna talk about that on here over time. But in my early 20s, it was a problem. So, music, podcasts,
Yeah.
interviews,
Yeah.
content, father shit,
Yeah.
husband shit, brother shit,
Yeah.
son shit, friend shit, game nights, barbecues,
DJing and hosting.
DJing, hosting, battle rap.
All of that.
You hear all that?
All of that.
You hear all that?
All of
It gotta
that.
sound good.
Man.
It should sound good.
I'm a
I said all
workaholic.
that. I said all that stuff without even having to embellish nothing.
Man. I'm a workaholic, dog. I'm a workaholic.
I just named 17 hats.
Man. And I try to make sure they all fitted properly.
You're the man out here.
Man, I appreciate you, dude.
I know for a fact that you bring a lot of good to the Des Moines music scene.
I try.
And it's truly blessed to have you.
Man, thank you. I'm blessed to be here.
I do feel like I've been able to be a fan while being ingratiated in it.
Yeah.
But being from I wasn't from here when I came here just as a fan. I feel like I got to watch the scene grow. I got to see a lot of stuff, and it's just been dope to watch you guys be consistent and more people catch on.
Man,
you know,
thank you.
and I'm never going to be somebody to speak to like, you know, numbers and dollars and all of these things. I'm kind of like a real big like go with my gut kind of guy, how things feel, you know what I'm saying? And it just feels like people are paying attention to you guys. It just feels like you hopefully you're due a moment, you're due something big like you were saying. You know, I hope this is an amazing year for you guys. You know, I'm big fans of all you guys.
Man, thank you.
So y'all a group of good dudes that really inspired me.
Thank you.
I want to make sure that people understand that, you know, I've been trying to build this thing and do this thing, and I didn't want to start until we sat down. I wanted to stand on that because it meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
Because I put a lot of work into this, and I'm hoping to turn this into something, and I truly feel like I wouldn't have did it without you.
Man, that's
so
love,
not even on
dude.
purpose. It's
That's
not even
love.
like you did anything. You know, we don't get to kick it that often or nothing. I wish we kicked it a little more.
Yeah.
But we don't get to really kick it or nothing. So just being around you, it was infectious.
Man,
you know what I'm saying? So, and for someone who was like struggling with, I don't want to say ageism, but definitely like I got to go to work. I got raise this kid. Like we had talked about in this interview multiple times.
Work
I
sucks
really
for the
struggled
record,
with that.
man. Work
No,
sucks.
for sure. But you always found a way. Like long before you were even getting the recognition or as much recognition as you get today, you always found a way.
Man.
You know, so, and I just really loved that. And getting around you guys and then, you know, kind of seeing how everybody came together and there was like just this family feel of like brothers and it felt competitively fun.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I always really, really appreciated that. And so, and then when we finally got the link and realized we had so many mutual friends.
Yes.
You know, so, yeah, no, it's been a pleasure to watch that, you know, and I've been trying to get to a point where I can start to, you know, emulate that a little bit and hope that, you know, I can do 10% of what you've been doing out here.
You can, dog, man.
Definitely inspired by you.
Des Moines,
There's no cap in that at all.
Des Moines needs a future album. I've told you that. You know
We're gonna make some music.
Des Moines needs a future album.
This next few months, I'm doing all the things. So honestly, we will talk at some point about how I want to take these 8 to 10 records and do some shows. And
dog.
And why not? Because I do want to have some fun.
Yeah.
I want to have some fun. I miss it, you know, but that's what I'm saying. Being around you gave me that feeling of I just miss it. You guys were always having fun.
Yeah,
and it's work.
man.
We talked about it. It's work.
It is.
It's sacrifice. It's struggle. It's money. It's hard on our loved ones.
Yes.
It's a lot.
All the above.
But you guys always have fun and always got joy from it. And so many of our mutual friends, but people that I'm cool with came to record with you or they was around y'all and it was just always spoke so highly of it. And so I've always really, really appreciated that.
Man.
So I've been waiting for this for a long time. So I don't want to cut that part short. I really want to take the time to give you your flowers.
I appreciate
you
that.
know, for me specifically, because I would tell my homies back in New York, all the people I kept relationships with, have been trying to get me going this whole time.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers hit me up every day.
Yeah.
Like, yo, we got to get going. We got to get going. Because they believe, and I appreciate that, and that's amazing, and that's great.
You're
but I
talented,
wouldn't
man.
have, I
You're
appreciate
talented,
it.
dude.
And I like to
You
think
really
I'm
are.
genuine, too. I like to
You
try.
really-
I want to be
you
genuine.
really are.
So meeting you
You
really
really
made
are.
me feel like there was a potential. And that was a few years ago now. And it's been hard. It's been hard to say, okay, I'm going to chase a dream. So
Yeah.
I've gotten sidetracked a bunch. But I want to tell you how much I appreciate you, Ray, because I know your character wouldn't really allow you to be like, I'm not doing that shit.
Yeah.
But there was a few times where it was like, all right, we ready? And then I wasn't ready. I almost wasn't ready today. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Watching this, I'm supposed to have a red jacket on. I meant to wear an LA fitted for my guy. It's brand new. I bought it waiting for this day. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I still wasn't ready. But I knew it had to go.
Yeah.
You deserved it because you put out an album today. And I want people to hear about that. And I want anybody who's going to follow me on this journey to also follow you on yours. That's super important to me.
That's love.
So, I just really didn't want to undersell that I really wanted to wait on you. For a little while, I probably used it as an excuse too. Like, oh, I got to rate on Ray. But when I was serious, it took 2-3 weeks you was here.
Yeah.
And honestly, it probably would have been sooner if we didn't have an amazingly insane snowstorm that, you know what? On top of all the things I said, the man was out there getting people moving in the polar vortex blizzard.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
Man.
So you should have put that in there too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to all the snow plowers, man.
I can't imagine that grind for those 2, 3, 4 days. Got to be crazy. It's got to be crazy.
Hey, snow plowers don't get enough credit, man. They keep these streets safe. You know what I'm saying? They keep the commercial residences cleared and all that. The commercial and residential areas clear. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the dudes that do snow plowing, man. You know what I'm saying? It's very important, man. And
look at this guy. I can't even. I try to give him his flowers, and we shouting out the plowman. I will say shout out the plowman because I was going to bring that up because he was even out there doing that.
Yeah.
And holding that down. And I know you've been through some things, and I'm really glad that you were able to channel it in your creative process. And I know it's not easy, you know. So it's just, for lack of a better word, I'm really proud of you.
Thank you, bro.
Because I did get to sit with the album, so I got to, but also I know you well enough to know, like, that you do want to care. You're just a legacy guy. It's clear as day. You care about yours, and you care about the people that, you know, that raised you and came before you. Yeah. And you're really carrying that well.
Thank you.
So you're making a real difference out here,
man.
Each day, and that's a big deal. So I don't want to undersell that.
It feels good to be acknowledged. You know what I'm saying?
And it's well deserved.
Thank you.
Well deserved. So there's going to be more music. There's going to be shows to follow.
Yeah.
There's going to be podcasts to look for. Everything that I ever put out, I'm surely I'll shout you out. We're going to always point people in your direction, you know. So we just going to try to have some fun over here.
And if you ever need a feature, man, or if you ever feel like you're ready to perform,
we're going to be doing some music. I'm definitely going to be at you about that.
If you ever feel like you're ready to perform and, you know what I'm saying, you feel like you want to jump on a show, man,
I'm going to be at you about that.
Dog.
Yeah, when it comes to the rapping,
nothing.
Actually, shout out to Nas. He's going to come through and kind of give me some crash courses and stuff. So once I get there, I'm going to bring the music to you because I do want to be involved in that stuff. And I just want to be a part of something anyway.
Yeah.
That's how I've always been.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so the music going to come to you, and I hope to do some shows this year with these guys. But everybody who took the time to sit with us, you know, sit with us for 2 hours.
That's crazy.
The great Bigg Ray West, though, could take 20 hours. I ain't going to lie.
Thank you, dude. That's love, man.
I ain't going to lie.
That is fucking
And don't
love.
worry, y'all going to get tired of me because y'all going to see me all the time. We got a lot to talk about.
That's what we want to see,
No,
man.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it.
We want to see.
I'm really looking forward to what you keep going, especially as you, like you said, make changes.
Yeah.
You're still finding ways to reinvent yourself.
Yeah.
Even today in your personal life and in your professional life. And hope to see you still be a part of Get You Some. And if, you know, I hope that if you're not hosting, that you still come and be a part of what's going on. And, you know, I do hope to see you hosting. But
so this next event, man, they reached out for me to, you know what I'm saying, be involved and host this one. But I'm gonna be out of town, man. We're gonna be hitting a motherfucking 12 or 14 city tour, man.
How long you going for?
12 or 14. So that's probably going to be almost
a couple
short
of weeks, or
3 weeks.
only on week. Okay, so a couple of weeks,
back to back. Yeah, it's back to back. Shout out my doggy AJ the Dread out of Omaha, Nebraska. You know what I'm saying, for putting this tour together.
So how's that going to work? So do you like travel with some of your people, or
me and T-Bear's gassing up the car and we hitting the road, man? We're about to
fire.
Just that simple. We're gonna load up all the merch. You know what I'm saying? Load up all the CDs
what
and
are some
everything.
Cities?
We're gonna be doing Kansas City. We're gonna be doing Warrensburg,
Flex,
Tulsa,
man.
Fucking Albuquerque, motherfucking Los Angeles, motherfucking
talk that shit.
It's gonna be nice, dog. It's gonna be nice, man. I'm real excited. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, shout out AJ the Dread, man, for putting this shit together and believing in me. You know what I'm saying? He reached out to me and said it was an absolute must that I be a part of this tour, man. And
I'm not surprised.
man,
We're gonna
blessed,
see.
dog.
I hope we see more and more and more of that. So
that's the goal, man.
So we won't see you at the next battles.
Nope.
You know, business,
Yes.
work is always gonna be schedules, and but I hope to see you there in the future.
Definitely.
I hope to continue to work together. Maybe somehow find ourselves in some of the same platforms. Obviously, I'm looking forward to getting with MCTV at some point.
I can make
I'm just
it happen
in no
like
rush.
that,
I'm just,
baby.
yeah, you know, nothing has been in a rush. I've been kind of to the point I almost got too slow, but I want everything to
Yeah.
just happen.
Yeah.
You know, but now you're here. This was so important to me.
Thank
Cannot
you.
stress that to y'all enough.
Thank
I
you.
know there's people who've been waiting for me to get going, and this is the reason.
It's rolling, baby.
Bigg Ray West is the reason. He truly inspired me to be a little bit more than a father and a worker and stuff, and I really appreciate that. So
Man, you got a God-given talent, man.
were
Don't
able
let
to-
it waste away, Brody.
no, we gonna figure this out.
Don't let it waste away.
Album is out. Will you
Walking in
have
rhythm.
time for 10 or 15-minute album breakdown after we done?
Let's do it.
Okay, cool. Because otherwise we're gonna run through it real quick. Album is out. We gonna talk about that. That should be out today. The album is out. We should have a piece of content out later about that.
Yeah.
Check it out. More albums already in the works. You said
Oh, yeah.
going on tour,
Going on tour.
and still got to get home and raise the babies.
Gotta get home and raise the babies. Shout
Yeah.
out my support system, dog. Shout out my support system.
2 hours. 2 hours. We lost the logo.
That motherfucker went
Actually,
to
I ain't
sleep.
gonna lie to you. It was set for 3 hours because that's as long as it let me go, and it was probably on for an hour before we got down here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time, man.
Thank you, bro.
Where can people find you at?
I'm on all platforms, but I mainly get down on Facebook, you know what I'm saying, as far as interacting with, you know what I'm saying?
GFG Records, GFG TV,
So-
Bigg Ray West,
So you could type in on Facebook.
MCTV.
Yeah, Facebook, I'm Bigg Ray West. That's 2 G's, you know what I'm sizzling? On YouTube, our YouTube channel, we just reached over 4,000 subs.
Say it again.
Our YouTube channel just reached over 4,000 subs. You
That's
know what I'm
4,000.
sizzling? Yeah. So that's GFG Records
That's
on
fire.
YouTube.
That's fire. I was on there.
Our fucking our music video Blaze With Me just reached 30,000 views, I think. You know what I'm
30,000.
saying?
That's not even leagues under the sea.
Yeah.
That's views. That's views.
Talk that shit.
Hey man, that's amazing. Listen, man, that's what. So yeah, the work speaks for itself.
Thank you.
The people can find you.
Yeah.
T-Bear got an album coming out.
T-Bear has an album coming out called Back Outside. And
Outside.
one of the singles on it is featuring Future called Outside.
Hey, y'all gotta like that. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna rap more for y'all though.
He said the motherfucker wrote this shit while he was outside.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that verse a lot, actually. Bigg Ray West, man.
Yes.
Bigg Ray West. I appreciate you.
Thank you, bro.
I really appreciate you
Thank
for
you.
stepping here with BEDDER-MEDA, taking the eye out of media.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna hear more and more of that.
That's hard, nigga.
Yeah, no, yeah.
He
for
said
sure.
taking the eye out of media.
You
I
know
like
that.
that.
That's it. I want to make it about everybody else,
There
and we
it
want to
is.
take out that overseeing eye. You know what I'm saying?
There it is,
We want
man.
to take that out of there.
Motherfucker,
So-
are you talking or rapping?
My guy. Shout out to Bigg Ray West. Appreciate you, dog. We out
Thank
of
you,
here.
man. Thank you.